Hola and welcome to Monday Night Fire Shrike. When we last left off, we had the team is kind of back together, but they're all kind of and they're on Patella, and we get a little bit of conversation between uh, Burnward and Zai about things going on with criminals and intel on disruptive elements on the um, on the planet.
Totally.
They've got we get a little bit of the sort of interplay back and forth with the Stellar Flares crew, sort of like what they went through and how Vesa got her mechanical arm and what have you. And we get a little bit of the scouting mission with Zai and company, waiting to hear back from Lady Sonnet, who gives them a report that there are some areas that are pretty secure, but there's also medical equipment for cybernetics that is sort of like industrial grade, like made for, and there is apparently a facility for building giant mechs that is in this place as well.
That part's okay, but we were gonna go talk to his head honcho that was on planet. That was what we were gonna do, right?
Dr. Artelis Lingrove.
Yes, that guy.
If I'm not mistaken, you sent word that you're requesting him to have dinner with you. You're
Yeah,
sending him a dinner invite. Um,
Request is
that's
a
the
fun word for what we were doing, but yeah.
right,
well,
right,
yeah, and when it was request, the limo will be there at 7, so
right.
with armed
Uh,
guards. Burnward, make it happen.
but
Burnward makes it happen. Burnward's not going to be there, though, because he's no longer a government official, Big Wing.
we
Right, that's why you're making it happen. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And by the way, I just assume, Sean, that like however many Knights of Patella there were, like the direct like commander motherfuckers, I just
right.
have them sworn to secrecy at this point.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So I think when we left off, we had Melp, our interdimensional isekai that the Vesa and Ashira and company picked up. That was trying to fix something. Like there was something going on with the communications that looked like they couldn't quite figure out. Melp got up underneath and started tinkering with the wires and whatnot. And maybe what we start with is, and this kind of broadcasts across the stellar flare. So if any of you have gone back to the stellar flare for any reason, you would see this. Additionally, like it could be potentially patched through. Um, I don't know. You might get a Zai. You might or might not get alert. I don't know if you have stuff like that set up. I don't know if. They you would actually probably get an alert because you're the captain of the Stellar Flare. It would probably
Yeah.
come through to you.
Yeah.
Um, but it's the picture is real grainy and garbled at first, and then we see like the picture of a familiar shape come on screen. But there's still the lines that are like sort of like glitching and waving. We can tell who it is, but we can't. But we can't tell uh, much about them or what's going on with them. And Shabo, what is this garbled message that comes through the Stellar Flares communications?
The message, yes. Mayday, Mayday. Captain Arcadic under attack. Tink realm need immediate, and it just stays garbled.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that comes through, and I think uh, Melp is comes out from under the like comes on like after it goes off, and he's like, "So I think there was more of this, but yeah, I could only get the rig to work for a brief amount of time. In fact, I'm amazed I was able to get it to work at all after coming back through the gateways. This ain't of origin of this particular dimension, if you catch what I'm saying.
Who did you say that to?
To you.
Basically, yeah,
Oh,
it,
to
it would,
me.
yeah, because you're
Oh,
like the
right.
communication he got patched through to you, as well as broadcast on the stellar flare. So, like
Yeah.
Lee, if you were on the stellar flare, you might have seen it. Any of the NPCs that are on there would have probably seen it if they were near
Gotcha.
a terminal. You know, um, and certainly like, but yeah, this is a thing that you've has come across to you. And Melp,
Oh,
like you're the only one who gets like the message from Melp though. You know,
right. I'll send a message. Can you triangulate which dimension?
he's like, I think I have a suspicion. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to unscramble some of the audio as best as I can, but there's a moment where she uttered the first part of a word that might, yeah, I don't know, tink, which Tinkerverse. He goes, and there's like give me a sense motive roll here.
Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Uh,
It's currently being passive aggressive in the background. You said a sense motive check?
yep, damn. Um, Not that you need to, but go ahead and roll your expertise dice on that as well. I want to see just how high this roll gets.
I think it's
Nice.
yeah.
So it's very clear from his demeanor that like he really hesitated. Like there was something hesitant about the way he came about saying Tinkerverse. Um, and there is also like when he said it, there is a level of discomfort there. That um, it's a level of discomfort that you kind of have noticed or that feels familiar. Like anytime you've tried to probe him about his past or, the cosmic curve cabal or anything about where he comes from, he's always sort of been really evasive and uncomfortable in the sea. So this is something that like you would immediately catch onto, like
Yeah.
that same kind of like um whatever this Tinkerverse is, it made him uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think I'd be on the ship. I think I'm just more comfortable there.
Okay.
I'd be like, why don't you can you come see me in my quarters for a minute?
He's like, there's a the look that kind of passes across his face is kind of like, God damn it, I really didn't want to have this conversation. Um, but he kind of sighs and he's like, I'll be there. And it's like, it's only a few minutes. It only takes a few minutes before he gets there. And
Yeah.
he's like, but yeah, you get the like alert at your door, whatever. I don't know if you have it set to a buzz or a chime or a bell sound,
Yeah, just
whatever.
something super chill, not too scary. Um, but it'd be like, hey, come in. Do you drink coffee? Do you want some coffee?
He's like, yeah, all things considered, not sure if I need anything quite so with quite so much caffeine. You got any tea?
Yeah. Yeah, I can make you some tea. Have a sit. And I've got like a table and chairs out and stuff. Like it's nice quarters.
Yeah,
I'll make him some tea.
yeah, he has a
Sit
sit.
down with him. Be like, we need to have a real conversation. You dodge my question a lot of
Is that
stuff.
where you've been hiding him?
You're kind of
Okay.
getting low and cutting out a little bit for
It's
me
just my
anyway.
nerve. Okay, can you hear me now?
I just
Yes,
yes.
no
Okay,
again.
so I'm gonna set the tea down and also have some for myself and sit down at the table and just like casually sit. You're like, listen, you've dodged my questions about your past and things, and I understand that. We all have stuff in our history that we'd rather not dredge up, but this seems fairly important, and it'd be real nice to get some straight answers because we're here now, and I don't know if there's a way to go back. I don't know if you'd want to go back, but you've got nothing to lose. Like, I'm my thoughts about you are not going to change because so far you have proved to be a very valuable crewmate and you haven't done anything to harm anybody here. So, between friends, it's okay. I really need to know what you've got going on and what you know.
Yeah, well, this is a bit of a complex. So the Tinkerverse, it's it's not exactly a place that your packed worlds not exactly the same in the what's dubbed the Tinkerverse. Uh, let's just see the C3. We they spend their entire purpose is to find the Mad Tinker. Well, and to emulate what makes the Mad Tinker so great. The only one in any universe that anybody's ever heard of that can figure the science around the dimensions and the time traveling and understand anything about the ancient artifacts left behind by precursors. There's they hold a great deal of influence, and so far you've kind of gotten off lucky because you're not the ones using the Mad Tinker's technology to get around. Well, at least you weren't. They're probably more after the Queen of Venom. She uses the Mad Tinker's technology. I think there's some kind of connection. Uh, there were agents that were supposed to be investigating that, possible connection between the two, but last I heard, they hadn't reported back in. Me, I was
Okay,
supposed to make sure that there was enough attention that I was supposed to make sure that certain elements didn't rise to power too quickly and interfere with the possible possible coinciding with a meeting with the Mad Tinker. We've gathered lots of data, but as you well know, you can't track things that go through time and dimensional travel by any normal means or even extraordinary means. But if there's anybody that's got a clue, yeah, well, it'd be C3.
right. Hey, I've got a crazy thought. That bitch is a goddamn android. She's the fucking worst. What if she's not using the Mad Tinkerer's stuff? What if she is the Mad Tinkerer's stuff? What if that son of a bitch built this woman and that's
Nah,
why she has the ability to use it?
nah, we did enough background check. The Queen of Venom, you're gonna be a little. Apparently, her father in that dimension, in the Queen verse as we call it, uh, well, the original Vesa died there. Well, her physical body anyway. but he was really rich, so he put together all the best scientists. He himself did years of research. They were able to transfer her consciousness into a android body. It,
Mm.
too bad
Oh,
she. Well, we're not certain if something apparently must have gone wrong, because either that or years and years inside of microchips made her extremely bitter, but she killed him and took control of his corporations and joined the pirate council. The rest is all cruelty and lots of murders.
yeah, she seems like a real winner.
Yeah, well,
Um,
she won more than a few battles to get where she was.
I
Is
think when he says that, like, I'll instinctively like move my arm. You know what I mean? The arm that isn't there anymore, like it can still feel
Yeah,
that fucking phantom pain. And just
yeah,
uncomfortably kind of move it. Um,
yeah. I think when you do that, he kind of looks embarrassed, like he didn't mean to mean it that way. It was like a thoughtlessly spoken, like a moment of like he didn't like think about that battle specifically.
right, no,
But he
I'll
was
put
just
my
like,
arm out. I'll put my hand up and be like, don't, it's fine.
eh,
It's fine.
he's like,
Just
eh, but if the if the Cabal and Mother Task are after your friend there, I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do. I mean, they've been dredging technology for every corner of every dimension that they can get to, trying to find all of the lost tech of the Mad Tinker, trying to find clues as to where to find him, trying to unravel the secrets. This is there's a there's a either she's found something they want, or they found, or she meddled somehow in their business. But yeah, I'm not certain that if your friend's under attack by the cabal, yeah, there's she's probably, I don't care how big that ship was, she's going to be outgunned.
yeah. Uh, we need to talk to Zai. We need to tell him what's going on. Um, uh, I'm gonna call him. Do, 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 do.
Hello, this is
Okay.
Captain Zai.
Hello, Captain Zai. This is Captain Vesa. Did you get that
Hi.
message about Shaba?
I look at my communicator and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I did miss some messages.
That's all right.
Hmm.
I have the lovely Melp here, who we picked up amongst our travels, and he's got some incredibly interesting and enlightening information. Are you free?
Are any of us really free? Yes, I can
I
be there in a
mean,
little bit.
yeah,
Will
come
you send
see.
the Spitfire?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And if Lee's around, I'll ask Lee to pilot the Spitfire over to him.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So cool. And then, bring whoever you want. This feels like a high priority situation.
Oh, okay. So I guess
Okay.
Burnwork gets to come along. Takes
Yeah,
Pet.
see?
Hmm.
Captain. Just,
Captain.
Xander. Yeah.
no, just as a very, just like, as you say, Captain.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think you also get a message from, like, you also had that message from Nerks that was like, we need to talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, perfect. You can kill two birds
whenever
with one stone. But
whenever
she's
Right.
not going to be on my ship anymore, I don't think.
I
No,
don't
I
know.
mean, like, I think I kicked her off whenever we landed. So
Oh, I don't remember that part, but
gently.
okay. And that's fine.
I don't know. Unless she's got, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, if you kicked her off, that's completely a legit
I don't
thing to
know.
do.
She was already moving her equipment out by the time when
Yeah.
you guys
Which is fine.
when
So, I
you
mean,
guys
it's not
landed.
really,
Right.
She was
No,
already
and
like,
we know that she was
yeah.
probably going to do that. I
yeah,
mean, it was all in
Yeah.
the files that you sent me.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no damage. I don't have to be the one to be like, you're leaving. I don't care about that.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
I don't think that she would be on the stellar flare anymore after all of that. I think that she'd probably be off finding her own way. So
Okay. So, hmm. Does that mean just you'd like to deal with
No,
the
I'm just saying you have 3 different things on your plate right now, and you get to whichever one you wanna get to.
hmm,
You can go your own way.
well, what time is it? That's the
Oh,
important
yeah.
part.
Sorry.
Well, I think thematically, this happened between the time that you guys, met earlier in the day and your dinner with Dr. Lingrove, so
Well,
you're somewhere
technically,
between.
also last time, like my last thing was everybody needs to meet at boards, and then we headed
oh,
back.
Yeah,
that's right.
But we didn't
That's
do
yeah,
that, and I'm okay with that. But
yeah.
so yeah,
So this is
I
probably
mean,
taking place before like, after you guys said, "Hey, we're gonna meet at boards," and then, before
on
you
the way
got to
back. Okay.
boards. Yeah,
All right.
before you
So,
got to boards, so, yeah.
yeah.
well, I
Maybe
would have
we're just like
known what time it is, so I would have scheduled dinner for the appropriate day, so I didn't have to
Right,
hurry.
right. Oh,
So
yeah. No,
dinner's
that's fine.
tomorrow. If
Okay.
dinner's tomorrow and you're cool with
Yeah.
that, then we can go do Vesa because
Yeah, that's
we were
fine.
already in a ship and we don't need the Spitfire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're
we
good.
can pick up Nerks when we get there. So
yeah.
Um,
I'll
actually,
call Lee. Go
you
ahead.
forget Nurx has a vehicle of her own. She, like,
a
has
space vehicle.
not a space vehicle, but you can assume that, like, because you guys did have an office for her. So there's
Yeah.
probably, she
Well,
probably
yeah.
has ship piled in her office temporarily at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's fine. If she's on planet, she's on planet. She's not gonna want
yeah,
to go because we're headed back to the stellar flare. I'll talk to you when I get back.
yeah,
Apparently, there's multi-dimensional things happening at the moment.
yeah. Yeah. So you get to the stellar
So,
flare,
Yeah.
easily enough.
mm. I like
Where
what
do
you've
you?
done here.
Oh, thank you. Did you see the garden? It's
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah,
right.
it was it got to a point to where we were completely self-sufficient. At least with like fruits and veg. And
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to learn how to grow a cow plant, but whatever. Uh
All
we
right.
got an
Uh,
incredible
we
hyperloop
have 3
situation
bacon
going on.
trees. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's good shit. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm quite proud of it. Who's all here? Jessica?
Burnward.
Bernard's
Bernward,
here?
Tix Pit, Lee,
Yeah.
Yep.
Mel
Okay. So
Scramjet would be here. He would probably have gotten alert too, as sort of your first mate.
right. So
So
I'm
he'd
not
probably be
gonna
there.
I'm not gonna repeat everything you said. I'm just gonna like be like, here's the things that he said, and here's what we got from Shaba, and how do you want to handle it, and blah blah.
Hmm. Well, as usual, there's always so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You are not want for work to do, Captain.
That is true. There's always something I should be doing. But
Emphasis
Zan
on should.
Xander,
and Xander, remember you did see Loyalty Dash One or Xander One kidnapped and pulled through some sort of dimensional portal too by small figures.
Oh, did you bring loyalty?
Yeah, Loyalty follows him around at
Loyalty,
that
yeah.
point. Loyalty, like
Well, Loyalty was
they
with
haven't
us.
even.
Remember, we took him and Xander
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
so they just got back.
yeah.
Okay, but I mean, is he on the stellar flare right now?
Yes, he's with
Yeah.
us. He's right there.
Okay, so I think when I see loyalty, I'd be like, hey, we got a guy just like you. Not exactly completely put together.
Just kind of looks at you like Hmm.
I'd like to see that. Let's do that first.
Maybe we can walk and talk. How about that?
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So, how was your day? I found out that
Oh,
there's a giant fucking factory on the other side of the planet where they could plausibly make thousands of cyborgs an hour. Oh,
oh,
and
that's neat.
mechs, but I'm down with mechs because those are cool. Um,
Right.
but
That's
cybering out
totally
people
neat.
without their permission, not
Yeah,
so
that's a
cool.
problem.
And that's
Um,
what happened to me today so far.
We don't have
yeah.
any proof that they're cybering anyone out, or we don't have any proof that there's any augmentation happening without anyone's consent.
I
Oh,
turn and look at you, and
All
I'm
the
like, "You're not a
costs
cop
and
anymore. Keep your
distance.
mouth shut."
oh shit. Um,
Burnward
you're
kind of just shrugs and goes. He shrugs and pops a beer out of his leg. Apparently, he was just told to shut up by the boss, so he'll shut up.
Eh.
right.
Now, on the
You're,
same note, here in a little bit, I'm gonna be like, I didn't actually mean shut up, but really, she doesn't. It wasn't important.
yeah.
What I say is
Um,
right because I'm the king. Okay, now,
so when you say that, Grace would be like, "That's cool." I uh woke up and brushed my teeth, so we both are winning. Yay!
that was a very Truman moment. Thank you for that. Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So we just walk and
Um,
talk. So
do
I
we
picked up
have
milk.
the
Thank you.
technology to dimension jump? I thought you said that it fried itself out or something.
Melp kind of shrugs, and maybe Kolnak's probably
Oh,
here too
I'm
because he's
sorry,
been
Melp.
running the
Well, yeah,
engineering
he should be.
department
No,
Wait,
at the
aren't there
I,
two Kolnaks with her?
no,
no,
I've got
there's
a
a
dough Avery, right?
Dovery,
Okay.
Yeah.
Dovery,
She's
which
got a
Yeah.
cognac and a
yeah,
cognac. Two different
which
things.
is really weird because like Kolnak has not gotten quite used to this Dovery, and it's like you're a bit more racist than my actual cousin is.
Oof,
What the fuck is
that's
wrong
rough.
with you? He's like, he's like,
Okay.
but the Kolnak's like, look, you're gonna have to look. I'd love to be able to give you an answer, but this is the one you're gonna need to talk to. And he points to Melp. He's like, all of the interdimensional travel, all that wiring. Yeah, well, I understand some of the technological parts of it. Talked a bit of the arcane parts with Ashira, and then there's a whole lot that he did that neither one of us understand.
Mm,
He- He's used to the technology that gets us back and forth through here.
well, explain it, Melp,
Mom's like, it'd
and
take
go.
too long to explain exactly how any of this works, and I'm not sure any of you would necessarily understand. No offense, I was
I
raised in an
mind meld with
environment.
him.
He's like, I was raised in an environment where this thing was a bit more commonplace. I could maybe rig something, but the power source that we've been
Hmm,
using your sparkly girl, but ever since we got back here, she's not been putting off the same levels of energy that bleed off for it.
good.
Gonna need a either either there's gonna need to be some change in her condition to where we can use that energy again, or I'm gonna need an alternate power source, something
Mm, okay.
special,
Well,
something really out there unique. Because a drive core, your typical drive core, or your typical engines are
mhm,
not gonna do it.
okay. Well, let's start with the fact that while this is a beautiful monstrosity that you've created, we have enough UPBs for you to make something more stable.
Hmm.
So get on top of that. And then I whistle and we keep talking. And a couple of minutes later, you hear the clicking of goat behind us.
Oh,
Right?
goat, goat.
Right?
That's
Eh,
our
Yeah.
goat.
eh, I'm a
Oh
goat.
shit! I forgot about goat.
Naughty Nina's bringing you
He's
awesome things, but not right now.
You just
All right.
hear, like, as the goat approaches, just from down the hallway, slowly growing in loudness, just mariachi music as, like, Arriba, passerbys! Have you considered the new Octo Core Tentacular Spectacular? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, as it approaches, and then just baws at us, or
Uh,
bleats at
and
us.
I'm
Right.
gonna pet it. Hi, goat.
Well, of course.
Nice to see you.
It feels
Bernward
like a
doesn't
real
like
goat
the
now.
goat. He knows that the goat. He
Makes
maybe he
him
doesn't know
happy.
about the Shelenium, but he does know that the goat is some sort of manipulation tool that the captain likes to use. So he just keeps a healthy distance from the goat at all times. He's
That's
better
fair.
with rage, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we keep talking. All right, so she's not going crazy as much. I find that to be a good thing. I'd love to get her on planet and not have her be a power source.
That'd
I
be great.
don't think that we can get a hold of Chunderbucket Charlie so he can just open a fucking window for us to jump through. Because, gods and or demigods that have yet to be named as a demigod only do what they want. And
Right. Unreliable.
Well, and Xander, the last time you guys saw him, he disappeared mid sentence.
uh, oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot
Mm-hmm.
about that. All right, so this is important though. Melp,
Mm-hmm.
is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you also find something vaguely familiar about him, and you can't place your finger on it.
What is he?
Isekai.
Hmm.
Oh, where's Twinkle? Twinkle's busy.
Oh, and what colors is he?
Um, I think he's kind of just like a dark brown color for the most part.
Okay.
You can't.
No
It's
distinguishing marks. Does he have pink eyes? Is he a partial albino?
no. It's nothing that you can define in so much as that. There's just something familiar about the way that he moves, like maybe a twitch around the ears when he emphasizes certain particular words or something, or maybe just
Hmm.
a habit with his hands that seems somewhat
Okay.
familiar, but it's
Well,
you can't
I'm
quite
going to do what Zai does best and ignore that and go ahead and have we made it
place
to the
it.
room with the body yet?
Oh yeah.
um,
Surely.
I
where
mean,
did you
surely
and where would you have gotten a loyalty body?
from the fucking
From us.
place where the other Janice McClure was that was a
Yeah.
nanosite.
We went
Oh,
Yeah,
and
from
that's
rescued
the
a
right.
dead
side.
That's
body.
right. You're
Hmm.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
We
So
we we at the very least have a whole bunch of parts of Loyalty Dash Zero that Loyalty Dash Zero could use.
yeah,
At
Mm-hmm.
the very least. On
yeah.
the
He
same note,
just
did you ever try to reanimate it? Because it's an android, there's a
Um,
chance.
we did try, and Talvono could not.
Mm, mm.
he
I
also
mean,
does not have any spells. He's a doctor, so
sounds like you
All
need
right.
a
Well, and
Sid.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, Jim.
Is that our
technically
mystic?
engineering. All
mhm.
right. So, hey, my computer went off.
Yeah, engineering does not allow you to resurrect androids and SROs from the dead.
Yeah, you just need to
Uh,
replace him with a Sid.
well, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, wait. I look at Lee and I'm like, remind me what your skill set is again? Karate and what else?
Piloting?
Right, but your actual skill set is Mystic, right?
No. I
Okay.
may be able to control the entropy of the universe, but it's only
Ah,
really useful
right.
for breaking things.
I apologize.
Boosting the
I was
mystic.
speed reading all the new information because there was a lot of it. I mean, apparently you guys have lived like almost a year more than we have. So, and
Yeah. It's been so much fun.
all
I
right,
should
I
have
do
been
like
there.
your scar above your eye. It's super cute.
Thank you.
I think you should get your eyebrow pierced. It'd look even better.
Like right beside it.
Yeah.
I think so.
But
Maybe
anyway,
I will.
we can talk about fashion later.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a mystic like that's not an
Yeah.
NPC?
Deuce. Well,
He's a
no, I
mystic.
don't think so.
Is
Ducey
Ducey a
is. I
mystic?
think he's an NPC. Yeah,
Is he
No,
Ducey's
not
an
high
NPC.
enough?
Nope.
You've
Ducey's a witch
got
warper.
Yep.
Withaki. He is not an
Mm.
Oh, with
NPC,
Saki.
but he can't revive people at all.
Okay, that was what my
Oh.
next question would have been was do you have the skills? Okay, so we can't do it
Not
that
at
way.
all.
So anyway,
Withaki's just glad to be here.
Oh. Have we
did
met
you guys try
already?
to retrieve any
Yes,
information that was
like
in his
briefly.
frontal cortex?
Yeah,
Um.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
I would
there's
assume we
no
did.
real way to do that because
Uh,
it's not a matter of just like the solid hardware. There's also the
Yeah.
soul or spirit
So
involved too. So
I understand that,
yeah.
but I mean, technically, Data's died a couple of times, and when they turn Data back on, Data's still available and wants to come back. So, yeah. But
Mm.
if that's not a possibility, then we won't try to revive him because I always like to have 2 loyalty dash zeros because that makes them a 1.
I don't know
Uh,
where you learned math, but 0 and 0 doesn't make 1.
so you're saying they
Mm.
destroy each other? Interesting. Now back to
Mm.
Melt because that part's not
No.
important. How is loyalty handling seeing his dead corpse on the
Loyalty,
table?
loyalty, just there for the most part. He there just seems to be a mild distaste, but otherwise relatively, yeah. There's a
Okay.
mild
If
distaste,
that's
but
all it is, then that's fine.
yeah,
Um,
but there's a certain amount of like curiosity in the sense that he's never seen this fucker before. He didn't know anything about him, um,
all
but
right.
there is a there's that distaste of um, this is not a pleasant experience for anybody to see themselves ripped apart and dead.
I
This
don't know. I've seen it so many times anymore. It's annoying.
and this loyalty dash zero or this loyalty
Real
no
loyalty dash
zero
zero versus fake
the
loyalty
one
dash zero.
that's on the ground there
The dead
like
loyalty dash zero.
it was taken apart by
Mm.
nanites like it like
So there's not
like
enough there to do anything with it anyway. Okay. So in
yeah
that case, let's
it
give this a
was
proper burial and back to Melt. So
Okay.
energy source. Um, how special are we talking? And exactly how much do you need? Because we only have a finite amount, and technically at this point, this goat is more alive than you might think. So,
it's like
and then I'm like, come here, goat. Argo, come here. Haha, I remembered his name. And I push on a plate, and his holograms go off, and you do indeed now see a robot goat that is
Ooh,
heavily teched out. Dear God, it's worth so much money.
Don't.
I'm
And his
Oh
chest
uncomfortable.
God.
pops open, and out pops the fucking ball of selenium.
he looks
And
Mm.
I go, you know what this is?
he's like yeah I believe I do and that might work and I might be able to use that as a converter to convert the power sources that we've already got. And it'll take a great deal of, due to the nature of selenium, and this is going to sound real corny, but sometimes that's how shit works. Everybody's going to have to just sort of envision that they're going to the Tinkerverse in their mind or have a great deal of faith that we're going to make it. Because if there's being this is selenium, if you've got any kind of doubt, it could throw everything off on the journey through. He goes,
Okay.
so
So I've
everybody's
already
gonna have
figured
to
out how
go.
we're going to have to do it. Everybody that's going is going to have to do fucking Lux to see, so we're all
Ooh.
happy and in tune.
No, Captain.
But
Yeah.
what, you don't want to do Lux to see? Not
Do we
going then,
Bergmore.
have to
buddy?
be happy?
Literally as soon as Bergmore hears that, he just goes, Captain, if you tell me this ship is going to fly us somewhere, I'll believe it just fine. Takes
Mm.
another sip of his beer.
It's
We
like,
need positivity in this. We
Do
need
you, do
faith,
you,
and you
I
don't
mean,
have
I
any of that
can.
anymore. I
Base
shouldn't go
isn't.
either. Burnward, let's leave. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no! Don't you do it. Face it doesn't have any positivity. But
Well,
she's gonna have
that's what the
faith.
Lux to see is going to happen for, so it's all good.
You
And
can't
besides,
just drug your crew to make the ship
the,
go.
the,
No, hold
Well, we
on.
can try.
Quiet
see, look,
there, I'm not
Oliver's on
interested.
my side.
Dr. Byrne, did you go to this meeting
No,
too?
just imagine he's
I
sitting
high
in his
five.
science lab, just like he just
Oh yeah,
has a
open
feeling.
comms. Open comms. That's
He's like,
hilarious.
Mhm.
wait a minute, someone's talking shit about drugging.
Mm.
Yeah,
Not
you're
about drugs, about drugging.
So let's see. I need 4% of that back because I can make something cool so long as there's some selenium. So
Well,
Goat still has his selenium.
he says the important thing is that everybody's gonna have to feel real optimistic that we're gonna get to the other side.
Oh,
Um,
fuck.
you got to convince everybody that this is gonna work. Um, which means if you got any skeptics on board, you could throw the whole process off.
Okay. So if we're using the selenium, can we take a different ship?
It would require a great deal of rewiring everything.
You do realize that I'm Captain's Eye, which means I have the best crew in the universe. They might not all be good people, but they're good at what they do. Um, did you know about the Black Rat? He was a good friend of mine. Um, but if we need to take the big ship, that's fine. But I would still like for you to upgrade everything that you already have because you were doing it while you were on the run from the Dominion of the Black. Aha! I
Oh,
remembered stuff.
I never upgraded the ship when we
It's
leveled up.
okay. It's okay. Technically,
Shit.
we all have to level up, and if we're doing the whole thing where we give the, angry goblin her own ship, then that takes care of
Mhm.
those points. But we needed to talk about that. We'll talk about that like at the end of the day. Um,
Well, I think, yeah, he's like, it's probably better if I use the ship that I've already started putting stuff that I've already worked on. It's easier to build off what I got here than to try to.
all
There's
right.
a certain amount of risk involved. I mean, it was necessary to change some things here and set this up. It was ultimately necessary to do that because otherwise we'd have never gotten back here or been able to control wherever we were going or really know
All
where
right.
we were going. The there is a risk of damage to the hardware if I try to move this and put it in another ship. Both ships really, because eventually this is going to have to be removed from whichever ship it's on.
Vesa,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you talked an entire building full of guards into leaving their jobs because you made them think you'd fired them.
Yeah.
I think it might be pretty trivial for you to make the entire ship believe that we're going to get somewhere. You just have to give them a good enough speech.
Yeah. Here's
Ooh,
Got her.
wait.
and I
What
can
is
help.
our
I can be the helper on your speech because I'm not as good as you.
at this point? Base is gonna hard roll her eyes. Like there's no. She is not a happy camper, and and it's not like towards anybody. It's just she knows. She fucking knows.
Hmm.
And she's like, yeah, yeah, that's a great
All right.
idea.
So we're only taking positive people with us, so that means Rec goes. And what's your other dude's name? Yes, yes.
With
I don't have.
Aki, he's
Yeah,
not a yes,
Wasaki.
yes.
I know, but it still got you to
There,
say
yeah,
Wasaki. So
that's fair. Yeah, Withaki would love to go. You tell him that something's gonna go transdimensional. He's 7 levels of Witch Warper. He'll go, yeah, okay, cool,
yeah.
good to know.
Ooh,
Can I
who's
look
the
at
other
it?
Witch Warper?
Huh?
Ducey.
Do you see?
Ducey, yeah,
So
You see,
yeah, but
Grugus will
Grugus
have to
is
go
not
as well.
exactly the happy person. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, maybe on
Grugus
Ecstasy.
might be. Grugus will be happy around Ducey. He's not going to go anywhere without Ducey, or
Well,
he's
Well,
not going to
no,
let
and I
Ducey
know
get
that.
away
I know
anywhere.
that they are a
Vesa,
set. So
from what you've understand of Grugus's personality, the funny thing about their dynamic is where Ducey it relies on his Warlanisi luck and his Witch Warper abilities, and he relies a lot on his luck, and he makes a big deal out of it. Grugus is all about self-determination. Like he doesn't believe he's going to get through something because he's fated to get through it, or because he's going to get, or because there's some external force. He believes he's going to get through shit because he believes that if he with enough hard work and determination. Oddly enough, this allows him to make the most of any opportunities that he
we have
finds.
all the doctors here.
He's he's totally capable of taking advantage of any fucking lucky breaks that happen when he's working uh, with uh, with Ducey, but he never seems to acknowledge them as lucky breaks. He just, plows ahead.
Now I
And
have a question,
Right.
Yeah.
Sean.
yeah,
Answers.
So Burnward is not a positive person. However,
right.
Burnward is a person who, if someone who is smarter than him tells him a fact, he knows
Hmm.
just enough to know that person who's smarter than them is right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
or at least has
I
has
was
an incredibly
actually
high chance of being right.
Right.
about to bring up the fact that Shira is not necessarily the most positive of people, but if she's passed out, does that count?
I mean, I'm willing
Because
to
if
get
so,
But
everybody
we can
fucked
give
up
you a
on
melatonin.
hyperleaf.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
would that be like a reasonable thing of like, yeah,
No,
Burnward's not positive in
I
ooh,
think
demeanor,
we
but he
I think
knows
it
it's
we
gonna
have to
work.
be a
I think
Baracus you.
I think it's one of those that just barely passes the bar. It's like that you
Yeah.
meet the minimum
Barely.
requirements, that in the sense that if they say it's gonna work and you're like, you say it's gonna work, then it's gonna work.
Yeah.
That
I
that
like
His
meets
that
the
his whole
Burnward
thing
minimum
has
is
more faith than
requirements.
Captain Zai.
his
You know.
whole thing is essentially like it has to work, so it's just gonna work. You
Right.
know?
Right.
Like that's the kind of soldier's outlook on things that might not work. It's like you
Right.
put a marine into a AO and go, yeah, this rocket launcher will punch through the enemy armor. Well, I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But you think the marine is thinking maybe this, maybe that? No, the marine's going, okay, this is gonna punch through the armor. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, let's also consider we're gonna probably be going into an active like
Warzone?
combat zone. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
are definitely going to prepare. I mean, Captain
we
Zai is a
yeah,
Boy Scout.
right. It's gonna be fun, I guess. Yeah. Face is just so over it. She's just
Oh,
so tired.
uh,
Hmm.
I learned how to do something new while you were gone.
What'd you do?
Check this out. And
Hmm.
I think for a moment, and my aura goes all crazy, and then the computer starts doing cool stuff.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's really
I learned
neat.
how to use my mysticism to use the computer.
I love that. That's wonderful. That makes me like 2% happier than I was before, which is a big
Right?
deal.
I move stuff with my mind on the internet.
I love it. I have a screwdriver in my arm.
Okay. Now, back to the guy who's using the selenium.
Yeah.
And
I
he's like,
almost am interested, but I also know I don't need to waste time on it. I'll figure out who he is eventually.
yeah, he's
So,
just like, yeah.
how long do you think this will take if
Uh,
you have helpers?
he goes, it depends on the helpers. He goes,
Well, Kolnak will
specifically,
be one.
he's gonna say
Hmm.
specifically if Kolnak and Ashira help me, then they're at least familiar with some of the basic stuff that we did to reroute before. There's
Have
still
you
gonna
met
be a great
Whistlefist?
deal that I'm gonna have to do.
I have I have
He's a gnome.
15
He knows
ranks.
shit.
I have 15 ranks in engineering. I want you to know.
Yeah. And if I'm
Here's the
going,
question. Here's the question. Did you make it a point to be a part of the process when he put this thing together initially, and as he tweaked it through, you were jumping throughout the dimensions? Because in
I
this
want to
case,
say I was involved so far as like I was aware of it and he'd give me updates.
right,
So
right,
not
and at
directly.
this point, we're all pretty fast learners.
like he's like, it's not that I doubt that you got good engineers with you, what have you. But in this case, trying to teach some basic concepts to people that I haven't been working with for several months will slow the process down. If
All right. Well,
Kolnak,
tonight while you're sleeping, I'll watch all the videos of you doing that, and I'll have a
Yeah.
turn for it in the
And
morning.
then if we're jumping through dimensions, can we not also jump through time? I mean, how hard
because
would it be to like as soon as she sends that, we just show up so we have all the time we need?
yeah, well, here's the thing,
I
and
love you.
he
I
goes,
know.
and I'm sure your doctor on the other ship that I take it the Tempest traveled through time or whatever. If what I hear is true, your doctor from there should be able to tell you that there is a memory fragmentation effect of time travel.
Oh yeah, that's what happens here. I remember now.
What do you mean?
It,
So,
the more you travel through time, the more your memories fragment. It becomes harder to figure out. It becomes the the mortal mind, as we know it, is not capable of long-term processing the sort of effects of memories that are shunted out of time that way. There's a
Well,
you go to the
well, there-
it's worse if you go to the future than if you go to the past. You go to the past, there's something about it being the past makes it a little easier to incorporate. I don't At least that's the theory anyway. But either way, eventually memory
interesting.
fragmentation, too much time travel, you lose who you are. You lose when you are. And well, I've seen a few cases go a little too far.
right.
Needless to say, those are individuals who no longer care for themselves. They have to be cared for.
Um, Vase is gonna look at Melp and be like, "That's that's great. Uh, Personally, I'm down for whatever. Also, don't we have the bear? The bear might know how
Oliver
to
is
circumvent
available
this.
and
Let's call the
happy.
bear."
Actually, well, the bear is who he was referring to as the Tempest ship doctor.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
that does drop the reference that at least he's at least seen the effects and could probably tell you more about it. You know,
Right.
the
Let's call the bear.
eh.
Do, 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 do. Oliver Byrne, you're getting a call.
Do,
Go for
do, do,
Dolliver.
do, do, do.
Hello, Oliver. It's Vesa. How are you?
I'm well. Ah! I'm fine.
What the fuck is going on?
No, kidding. That wasn't.
Okay.
Sounds like experiments to me.
Right, no, he's just like,
Ooh,
I'm doing fine.
science.
What can I do for you today?
Yeah, I want to do some time traveling, and I want to do it without totally destroying everybody's brains. I'm fine. I don't give a shit about myself, but everybody else at least. Is that possible? Can you like whip up a serum or something to just like protect our fragile, delicate meat space while we go back in time?
That was a beautiful, beautiful moment of saying brain. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I could do some research and see what I can make. So, are we worried about physical damage or
So
psyche?
this is like a sort of extra dimensional special effect. It's the effects of time travel, and you've watched, like members of your own crews, like on the Tempest. You guys have had
Yeah.
some memory fragmentation. It's in fact as vague as Xander tends to be with his explanations on things sometimes. You're not quite sure how bad the memory fragmentation with him actually is, because he's always been a little vague, but he becomes a little bit more difficult to understand the more research he does and the more time traveling he does. But
Well, but hear me out, and I'm gonna call the
Might be
bear,
why
but
I'm
you know,
completely confused then.
could
it
be.
could be, but it is. I'm gonna be like, but yo, hear me out. Like, if we're just jumping back in time to one set spot and we go and handle the business there, and then we jump back in time like 60 seconds after we've left already, so we're not interfering with our past selves in any way. I mean, and these are different dimensions. So we don't have to sweat anything that happens in this dimension from the time that we went backwards to right now. If we were time jumping in the same dimension, yeah, that'd be real fucking sketch because everybody's seen Back to the Future. But
Oh no, no, that's trust me, it's a no-go. Back when I was serving on the Ithaca, one of the worst things that had ever happened was we had somebody who made a pact with a devil. Essentially, they went back in time to try and stop a demon from ever being created. They came
mhm.
back and couldn't even remember what their name was. By the end of the week, they were being spoon-fed. And I don't mean spoon fed literally, they had a tube through their nose. We're talking about
Gross.
top doctors here.
Gross.
I mean,
So
you're
you
At
end
still
least
up
that's
like
what I
aging
was
having to.
told.
when you go forward or backward. You physically yourself are still aging, but you
Yeah.
jump around, and people are gonna perceive you as the age when you left, when actually you're older. So it
Mm.
kind of fumbly wumblies with your brain.
Yeah. I mean, that's a chance that Vase is willing to take, but it's a real hard sell for everybody else.
I
Yeah.
mean, as long as I keep
Ugh,
accurate records of your brain scans prior to the jump, I could concoct a potion of some sort that could make you
I don't
susceptible
think
to
we have the technology to download our brains every time
not
we do
download
a
the
jump.
brain, just scan it and then scan it for changes and then make something that would make you susceptible to suggestion and then essentially make you believe it never happened.
Oh, so wait a minute. You're
Ooh.
thinking doing what was that called? That movie by Cronenberg's son? They basically would send assassins to do shit, but they would have to be in other people's bodies, and what they would do is every time they went out of someone's body,
Looper?
they're huh?
No, the one
Not
with
Looper?
Looper. Starts with a
the one
P.
where
Like Possessor or
Primer?
something like that. Not
no.
Primer.
Not
No,
primer,
Primer's
no.
amazing, but not Primer.
Right.
Basically, what I'm referencing is it's like they'd have to basically brainwash people into being themselves again because they'd have to be
Predestination.
not predestination.
But yes, that's pretty much
Yeah,
Yes,
where he's going with
Predestination is
yes.
that.
the movie.
No, not predestination. It's Possessor
Mm.
Okay,
by
so he
Cronenberg's
doesn't
son.
end up in the box at the end.
No, no.
Okay,
No, she
just
kind of
making sure.
loses. Well, hold on. I don't want to. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
going
I've
to
not
let's
spoil
not
seen
do
it.
that.
Possessor for anyone.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
You all should watch it. It's incredible. But anyway, sorry, I digress. I've thrown us off.
That's fine. And then I'm gonna ask the bear. You think this whole brain scan thing? You think you could also like take some shit away for me? Like maybe we can compartmentalize some stuff.
That's very unhealthy, but I could possibly do it.
It's super unhealthy, but
Jesus.
the pain of living is a lot, and I'm tired. So
Are you just
At this
standing
point,
on the main deck in front of everyone just being
yeah, and at this point, Burn Ward hands you an ice cold beer and just goes, "Push it down with the brown."
I will drink it, and I will
It's
like
a really dark
clink
beer.
glasses with you.
Yeah.
I will drink it.
It
Does
makes
it taste
Guinness
good?
taste like Bud
I
Light.
It tastes good to me. No,
to me?
imagine just like a super dark brown lager.
Guinness.
No, that's a stout. Think of
Yeah, that's a stout.
like or a brown ale rather.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
brownstone. Brownstone is a good example, but darker.
Got it. I will.
Notes of
I'll take a
coffee.
sip and ooh, I'll take a sip. It's
And
very
chocolate.
clearly like strong as fuck. But then
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is fine, and I'll just uh drink the whole bottle
Hell yeah,
right
you're
now.
downing a 9 point.
I am. And then I'm gonna throw it in the
Anyway,
recycling and be like, thanks, bud.
all right.
Nods solemnly.
So, how long will it take Mel to get his shit done that he needs to do?
It's like, it'll probably take a couple of days. Maybe
Good, because I need a couple of
maybe
days. I
less.
still have other shit to do. So I guess if we're
Cool.
bouncing through time, we could get back right after we left. So
That's what I'm saying. Like
I know.
seriously, we go and then we come right back,
So,
and even if it takes us 6 months to do what we need to do, we eventually come right back to the same spot we were before, and it doesn't affect our timeline whatsoever. Everything here is already set in stone. We did it.
so,
It's done.
so one time jump is risky but doable. Two time jumps is twice as risky and half as doable. The more time jumps you do, the more danger you put which means those who have been a part of the Tempest crew, if they're going with you, are at greater danger than those of you who have done any
Well,
time traveling yet.
since I unfortunately can't stay for whole sessions, Oliver can hang behind
Um,
and we'll
that's
Yeah.
not
study
to
up
say
on.
that you can't. It's not to say that you can't do it. It's just going to take a bit of. There's
He'll
just
be
going to
asleep a lot.
maybe some. There just may be some cause. There might be some effects that happen.
Mm.
Um,
Oliver can stay behind and research on suggestive hypnotism.
Right. Get us healthy when we come back. That's the job. because who knows what it's going to be like when we come back.
Dr. Oliver Burns gonna get his PhD soon.
Fuck yeah, do it. That would be amazing.
Pretty huge dick.
But here's the thing. You would only have like, I don't know, if we started talking about it and we planned for a week and then we jumped, you would only have a week to research because we would jump and then from your perspective, we would jump right back.
That is 6 days more than I need.
Okay.
Take the extra time. We're taking 20 on all this shit.
Yeah, just makes me
If
laugh.
we can take 20, we do.
Oh yeah, on everything.
My food is here.
We are being methodical and safe.
Yeah, I would rather I don't want to jump into anything without thinking it through fully, because we've had quite enough of that.
Yay.
And yeah, it's great. Super fun.
Besa, we have an evil dinner to deal with tomorrow. Since we're going to be here for a couple of days, so Melp can do his job. Do you want to be my secondary for the meeting with the doctor professor's subordinate?
Yeah, that's fine. I can do
that. Cool, because that's a whole lot of diplomacy, and your sense of motive is better than mine.
Yeah, I can help.
Okay.
I mean, how high can I be during this meeting?
Okay, so Zai is constantly on a mild hallucinogen, so at least that high. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Jesus, just microdoses?
Dude, Blue Grog is a mild hallucinogen. That's all Zai drinks. That's what's in his flask, and yeah.
I guess that pretty much everybody on the ship is at least high or drunk in some capacity near constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty unhealthy, honestly.
It's terribly unhealthy.
Yeah.
None of us are raw dogging reality at this point. And honestly, Besa's fine with it.
Lee is most of the time.
Lee is the only sober one.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Lee got really, really drunk because he has tiny body. That's adorable.
I always love when people are like, I have a tiny body, I got really drunk. And I'm like, Nerks outdrank the bear.
Actually, that did happen. I remember that.
Yeah, that's canon.
I would like to try to outdrink the bear one day.
You tried to outdrink the bear. You threw up, remember?
I did throw up, but that was pre-war Vesa. Post-war Vesa is a bit meaner. So.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah.
By the way, what is Ryan doing while all craziness going on?
Yeah, he's not very positive either.
Fire Shrike. What do you mean he's not positive? Give him a few drinks and he'll be positive as fuck.
Until he starts trying to fight somebody.
Yeah, but then he's really happy.
Yeah, Burnward and him will fight and they'll be happier than hogs and shit.
Okay.
Burnward kind of wants to swipe at the little guy.
Brian's still on the fire Shrike. It's like, that's awfully quiet tonight.
Right?
Okay.
he's like, you're like maybe
you get updates
maybe
later.
the loudest member of your crew called in sick today.
I'm so pissed right now, y'all.
Huh?
I ordered wings.
You gotta go.
I got half the quantity.
Those
I got barely anything.
They half your wings.
Go to the restaurant and kill them all with a spoon.
No. Kill them with kindness.
Ooh,
we'll never expect that.
Damn.
That one's a rough one. Because what do you do?
Hey, I didn't get half my wings. Oh, do you have proof?
Yeah. I just took a picture.
Hell yeah, you did.
Like, why did I only get 4 wings?
Yeah, no, that's I got 5 and 5. I ordered 20. Paid $30.
That's bullshit. B-dubs?
Yep.
B-dubs fucks my order anytime it's a delivery.
Yeah, that's fucking trash.
Just don't order B-dubs. Just go to B-dubs.
So
anyways, continue.
We need to figure out who we're taking with us for sure.
All
I have a
the
lot
PCs.
of right, of course. I have a lot of unannihilated. No,
Yeah. No, not unannihilated. Damn it.
No, It's
Unfulfilled.
unfulfilled. Yes, I have a lot
He
of
likes to
unfulfilled that
unkiss-othens. That's all it
I
is.
know. I know. We could take the unannihilated. He's always, oh God, he's a hoot and a holler.
Well, yeah,
Let
we're
me tell
definitely
you.
going to take we'll take all the meat sacks.
Is he going to
Right.
believe that the engine's going to work? I mean, he
I'm
has
gonna get
traveled
that
across
guy.
space and time.
I'm
Well,
gonna
he
get that guy
That makes
fixed
traveled.
it
up.
easy.
He traveled where Melp had the
Well,
engine rig before. He's not an
other
engineer, so he'd
doctor,
be like, well, yeah, he got it. He made it work before, so I guess I believe it's gonna work now.
what's
Yeah,
your new doctor's name? The skittish one that comes with the Nahir that's not Nahir.
Telvono.
He's not skittish.
So,
He's just absent-minded and talks a lot.
right,
Yeah,
he's
I
Doctor
worse
actually
than
like him a
Xander.
lot.
That's all I'm saying.
I like
Um,
Telvono a lot. He's fun to keep around. I'd like to keep him too. My
well, yeah,
unfulfilled,
and
one
we
of them
have
a
to
really
take
good
him,
fighter.
right? They're like an act, like
They're a package.
Dusky
Yeah,
and Grugus.
yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna take Tix Pit, but Tix Pit believes.
Are
So
we just going to bring everybody?
we
I
could
mean, I've
technically
got
bring
enough space.
everybody. There's 100 people that can be on here. So.
Yeah, and I'm only holding like 28, maybe 30 people.
Yeah.
If we include some of
Ooh,
the people that we've
have
picked
we
up
met
along our
Shaba's
travels,
brother
it might be
yet?
35. No, I skipped that
Okay.
one. Or no, wait, did we? Did we actually
Which
skip
one?
it?
Which one?
Shaba's brother.
Yeah, you guys skipped that one. You're like,
Yeah,
fuck
Okay.
we
that, we're
did.
not going doctor.
It's not
I was
going
like,
All
down.
right.
okay, I guess
I
you're.
couldn't
I
remember or
guess you.
not.
I
So
guess Shaba's brother from an alternate dimension doesn't get saved. Okay.
No, I was just like, that's fine.
Player
I don't care.
agency.
Yeah. Blow Octurne up in every dimension we go to, please. Just by accident. It'll
You
be fine.
you do that too many times, one of them's gonna hatch.
That's true.
Right?
It's fucking true. So you're right, better not. Um, yeah, I don't know what you want to do about the unfulfilled that are mostly like engineers and stuff. They're not fighters. We can keep them. They're great. They're really lovely.
Are. Some of them did transfer to security. Like, so that's like when you had like all of the problems with personnel, people were transferring from different departments to
Hmm.
different departments. Some
Yeah,
actually did transfer to security. Like
yeah.
Kasatans consider the soldier or the soldiers in Solarian to be pretty honorable.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
it's a
Mhm.
good thing to do.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
fine
on
with
the
whatever.
same
We can
note,
take them all. I just don't want to put. I don't want to inconvenience
this is the
anybody
first
who doesn't
time
want to
that
be a
the
part of it.
unfulfilled have been on Patella, so technically they could stay. There are other people that could go instead. Ugh.
true.
I think I'd like to show him around and introduce him to you. Have you met him yet?
Are we going to take the sheep people that you made?
The sheep
The
people?
goat
My
people,
bad. Sorry.
the Capran.
Yeah.
Most of them are still learning common or some sort of
Well,
language to
we're going to
communicate.
teach their
But
teacher.
Because
there are a
Wathaki
few.
is off screen doing common second language, and it's really hilarious, and the audience just has to trust us on that one.
Oh my goodness! I bet it is
That's why I was like,
It's
delightful.
my
Wataki's
Really.
it's my
coming.
favorite
So.
running joke is to just keep
Yes.
saying Wathaki's teaching them common second language. It's a hoot and a holler, and we're just not going to cut to it. Like,
That's fair. That's totally. I love it.
He's
Honestly,
trying to
we're
educate
fucking
the
to
sheeple.
yes, exactly.
people. How funny.
Haha.
Zai, do you want to meet the unannihilated?
We don't have time for that scene.
Okay.
The Jester and I were talking about that, and we haven't actually decided how that's going to go.
That's fine.
Because, yeah,
Whenever
it's
you're
going to be
ready.
a whole thing.
Yeah, Zai's just like, I'm not ready to meet him yet.
That's fine. Yeah.
I've looked at all the footage. He does have more abs than my Nahir had, but other than that, yeah. It is crazy to see Nahir without his face on, huh?
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
was
his
born
face
with
mask.
here.
Well, in more ways, I was about to say in more ways than one, because remember, half of his, one half of his
Yeah.
face is burned mostly off.
Hey, he and Burnward have something in common.
Right? You're both cheap ripoffs of Zuko.
Oh.
Hey, Burnward's not a ripoff of Zuko. Burnward is actually a ripoff of a fantasy character from Warhammer Fantasy. who became a
Bro.
Chaos Prince. Thank you very much. That's where the
Bro.
inspiration came from.
There is no war in
love
Ba
it.
Sing Se.
See?
There is
Thank
no
you.
war.
Listen, in the 40th millennia, there is only war.
In Ba Sing Se? No.
No,
There is
No.
no
I didn't
war in
have a I
Boston.
didn't have a I didn't have a good one for Warhammer Fantasy. I forget what Warhammer Fantasy's tagline is.
It's
I
okay.
never played Warhammer.
So good, Amy.
I know.
It
me
makes
too.
magic seem cheap. That's all you have to know.
That's true. That's
Yep.
why I have a buddy who 3D prints every. I'm sorry. I've just put a Games Workshop hit squad on me. They're going to be breaking through my door any minute now.
That's
I love
fine.
you all.
I
Bye.
love
bought
you.
I
a
like
I bought a
Warhammer's
resin.
magic system for orcs.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
bought a
they just
resin
yeah.
printer specifically to print little 3D like
Mm.
minis.
Mhm.
Like that's all I fucking. I mean, I do other stuff with it, but that was its original purpose, was just to print and paint.
Fantastic.
So
Hell yeah.
fucking-
You can make
Yeah.
a
I need
lot
to
of
get
money
you teeth.
bootlegging. I mean, that's
Bootlegging,
an illegal
nope.
we don't
topic.
bootleg.
Z-Quill
Right.
cakes. Z-Quill cakes,
Z-Quill
everybody.
cakes. Oh my god. Nobody bootlegs anymore. We just make our own shit and then print it and sell it. That just looks kind of similar to other stuff.
Yeah, that's not a Primaris Marine. Primaris Marines are stupid. That's a
Maris
Thousand
Prime
Suns Legion
It's a chrysalis marine.
adjudicator. Yeah, it's a
Anyway.
Chrysalis Marine. Rogel Dorn made
Anyway.
him, because why not? Sorry, I'm getting
We're under
geeky.
attack, guys.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay. So we get all the people ready for this. We're gonna take Whistle Fizz because he's my boy. And Rec has to go because he's the most positive person we have. He's
Awesome.
Jiminy Cricket, and we don't listen to him
love
enough.
Oh.
We are not taking Glycil though because he's a Frump. Well, wait, he is a Mystic though. But we have Oliver, so
He's a
and
frumpy
we have
Mystic.
the other
we've got
doctor.
Ducey. We've got Ducey.
Yeah.
I'll put out like an APB for my
Like I
crew
said.
and be like, here's what's going on, and
Yeah.
if anybody that wants to go, here's the requirements.
And
Oliver can stay behind.
Michael the player recommends we just take every named NPC and player character we've got. That way we don't have to worry about like, oh, is so and so here? You know, like it gives us a bigger hurdle to initially start. But once we get the ship through one jump, then all that issue is solved. So it's an initial problem that solves itself immediately.
all right,
and
but
it
we
means
also
we have
need
more
to know the
resource.
number of crew that are named that have been through time because it's going to affect them harder than everybody else.
True. Xander's gonna have to make some int saves.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. Sort of. Remember, if you lose enough intelligence, you lose skill points.
True. But you know what? I believe in him.
I
Personally.
believe in him.
I think that Xander's the smartest member of our crew. Hands down, he's an absent-minded scientist.
Well, now hold on.
That was me believing.
No. That's Oliver Byrne. You are the most resourceful member of our crew.
Don't drink anything around Oliver.
Hey, Burnmore didn't say any of that out loud. It's in his crew notes, though.
There we go.
That's awesome.
I learned a lot from the Dro.
He did.
They weren't even Dro!
Not technically.
They were foe.
All right. Now, remind me
Damn,
what
that's
happened to Charlie, because I vaguely remember what you said, but not enough to like actually remember.
The last time he was talking to the crew of the Tempest, he disappeared mid-sentence.
Just like straight disappeared.
Yep.
Like the footage shows him just poof. No doorway, none of that.
No doorway, no smoke effects, no nothing, just there, and then
Well, his normal thing has been to fucking go through the doorway, stop at the bar in between before he goes to the next place. It's too bad we can't figure out how to get access to that. Melp, do you know about that place, the bar between time?
He goes, yeah, I think you're thinking about talking about some quantum physical realities that, and that's not technically what you think it is. That's if you this is
Mm,
you might want to leave that particular thing alone right there.
mm. Well, does that count for fucking jumping through time? Because I've been through there like
that
twice. No, 3 times if you count the return trip.
that doesn't that doesn't count as anything like anything you know.
Okay.
And that's it
Now, anyway,
is
what
like,
else do we need to do? I definitely stopped by Melamie's room before we go back to the planet because we still can't get her out, even though she's chilled out. Correct.
Mhm.
she's still
Also,
comatose and still like putting off some levels of energy, just obviously
uh,
not the levels that he was able to use before.
since you guys are home, let's completely like rebuild and reinforce this thing like it's a fucking cage meant to keep the bulk in. Haha.
I love it.
So yeah. I mean, hmm. Damn it, Nerks. Hmm. Okay. Because reinforced bulkheads would make complete sense for the ship right now. So yeah, if we're done here, we'll leave Melt and we go back and we go to Bort's and party for a while, and then tomorrow we have a whole day to plan dealing with the doctor's subordinate. Also,
Yeah.
let's have my military set up patrols and have us make notes of when stuff not patrols. Let's do like not Lady Sonnet herself, but like people with the same skill set, so we can get some surveillance done without getting caught. Maybe. I mean, it's the doctor. He's good. He'll probably catch us anyway. But
Well,
so
it generally takes somebody with the skill level of like Lady Sonnet or Ovesh to get anywhere close in there. I mean,
mm,
you
right,
can
but
get
we
some
can. I
you can
mean,
get some people that like can
I
set up
don't
some
want them to
surveillance
get
in
in
the
there, but
right.
yeah, I want to know if like a plane lands or a helipad, or someone uses the helipad. If someone like shows up from orbit and then go specifically that way, all that kind of stuff. Just we're keeping more tabs on it than we were before because we didn't know it was there.
All right, just trying to check like air traffic and what have you.
Right. Yeah,
Essentially,
I'm not sending in Lady Sonnet and wow, you just said it too.
Ovesh.
Ovesh. Yeah, I got that. To, bomb the place. Yeah. That's the whole reason we're having this other talk.
Right.
Okay.
There's
So, uh I'll wear a nice suit that's got forearms and a double Windsor knot. And I guess at some point during boards, I would disappear and go find Nurk.
yeah.
But do you want to do that right now, or what do you want to do now?
Sure, we can do that.
I can.
I don't know.
I'm going to accompany, but not be in the room when you have the conversation.
Do I know you're
Yeah.
gonna go find Narcs? Like, are we going to Bort's and then you're gonna go find Narcs, or are you gonna do
Yeah,
that first?
we're going to go to boards and fucking start getting hammered, and then I'm going to attempt to disappear. And I will, of course, have told Tixpet what's happening because he trusts my judgment, and he'll stay and hang out with everybody else. And then apparently Burnward will catch me and follow me there. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to make like a perception check to see if you see me sneak out, that's up to you, dear.
Oh no, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, the only reason Burnward would probably notice is because his entire job as of right now is to be your personal bodyguard. And he's
Right,
used to
we should really
Zai
do like some
shenanigans.
facial reconstruction on you at this point, so you could just be like, "Ooh, can we get a glamour unit just for your face?"
No, we already said that he's been disbanded from the government, so and being a
Right,
part
I
of a
know.
personal retinue is
And I
different.
guess it's no different than Vasa's father having Cordrum as his personal bodyguard. So,
Yeah, exactly. No, I draw a direct parallel. Actually, yeah.
yeah, well, that's how I got there too, sir. I was like, oh wait, no, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah,
Hi, I have an ex Hell Knight as my bodyguard.
yeah,
Oh, well, I have
exactly.
one too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. My Hell
And
Knight's
not
better
just
than
like
yours.
not just for a pissing contest. I'm sure any Hell Knights that have somehow gotten out of service are prized like mercenaries and bodyguards.
Right,
Hell Knights
well,
have a reputation for being pretty goddamn good at killing whatever,
mm,
Yeah, this is
that's true
true.
enough.
especially an
Oh,
ex-paralictor. You're
so
lucky.
yeah, I will text Nerks while we're at boards, find out where she's at, attempt to sneak off, and even though I snuck this well, uh, Burnward was like, "Oh, I see Zai's trying to sneak off. I will follow him," and then that's how we get there.
Yeah,
Where's she at?
you've got some tells there, bud. Like I
Hmm.
feel like Zai kind of does the classic. He has an Irish goodbye tell where it's like maybe he looks around the room once or twice, and then immediately Burnward's like, "Yep, that's his. I'm leaving." Like fucking thing.
Right. Well, and I'm drunk enough. I forgot to go invisible. So
Mm.
yeah,
And even if you did, I got thermals.
I know everything's fine, sir. I'm not trying to avoid
Oh
you,
no, I know. I'm just fucking around.
but yeah, I know you're good at your job. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Now, where's she at, sir? Is she in her
She's
office?
actually, yeah, I think actually you find her in the garage area at the mountain base. Like her stuff is clearly in the office. Like maybe at some point you pass by it and you see like her
Well, I would have went
fucking
through
her
that door to look
musical
for it
instrument.
first.
Yeah, like her musical equipment is packed up there. Like bits and pieces that came off of like the still. Like a still are in there. Like a few tools, some of her weapons and clothes and personal
Mm,
items and whatnot. But it's all packed up and like and it not in the most organized. Like the obviously things like equipment is packed up with a certain amount of care and pride. Like her clothes and stuff. It looks like she pretty much just threw that shit in the fucking suitcase and called
I've
it
known her
good.
for a long time. I
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah,
So I make my way down from the office to the garage,
yeah, she's
and then there she is.
yeah, she's in
She
the
working on her
garage.
motorbike.
Yeah, she's working
Mm.
on this, and looking at it, like you're
Oh yeah, I
looking
haven't
at it.
seen this yet. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at it and looking at the design work. You can tell that she's designed this motorcycle to have a flying capacity as well.
Mm, mm.
You can see where like the wheels fold upwards
Is
and
it
like
better than Glycil's? I mean, I'm sure it is, but I was riding a fly cycle for a while.
yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty solid. Like
Very
she's got a
nice.
she's got a gun attached to it and everything. I forget what kind of gun, but
Uh,
she's just kind of
yeah,
like we're doing
I
the
still bring
tuning
gun.
on it, and she's
Uh,
uh, like when you come into the garage, like she waits until you get close before she says it.
uh,
Mhm.
well, let's hear your side.
It's like
Wait, I pause. First, I take out my flask and I hand it to her, and then I say, "Well, let's hear your side."
says, "Solid. Look, Zay, I'm not gonna dig up and piss about with old shit. When it fucking Vesa and I don't get along, fine, whatever. Bigger issue, this whole thing has become an institution. It's a institution, and I'm not one for institutions.
Mm,
Says, I'm not one for command structures. Says, I realize my shit's all taking up space in the office, but I'll have it out in a couple of days. He says, I mean, this is
Oh,
my. She says, "You can consider this my official resignation. I'll help
oh,
you out
you're
with
going
whatever
to
this
leave?
shit is." She's, "Look, I'll help you out with whatever this shit is as a friend, because we've known each other for a long time, and because, quite frankly, um, I'm not sure if you're gonna get through this without me, but I'm gonna help as a friend, not an
Okay.
employee, not a member of a military unit, not a member of some this that or the other, but I'll
Hmm.
be here as a friend to help. But I'm not a part of you. But I'm not a part of a command structure. Never will. Never been my goal, and not what I'm gonna start doing now."
Okay. So let's start over. And I take my flask back and I take a big drink and then I pass it back to her and I wait.
And she takes a sip and hands it back, and like maybe
Yeah,
grabs
you've
a
been
rag
gone
and
long
wipes
enough
the
that I'm
grease off
sure
of.
that it's not a vintage that you're happy with, but it's still from your last still on my ship. So at least it's, half yours.
She's like,
So
"Yeah, go ahead."
you have had more than one captain. You know that every captain is different. And fucking Besa did what she felt was right because she felt that you fucking went out of your way for it. And I understand that to a certain degree. And you are also my friend, so I understand everything you're saying. And as far as it goes, you know damn well that I only chose the title of king to be pretentious, and all this other bullshit is not stuff that I want to do. But unfortunately, the universe, or the gods if you prefer, because I know you're kind of religious, um, have decided that we are a part of this extravagant event where we have to try to save the universe or it'll just end. And there's enough of you that I enjoy your company that I will attempt this feat, even though it's not exactly something I should want to do in general. If you want to be freelance and have a fucking thing going on, that's fine. And I also have some bad news in case you haven't heard. You do realize your family is on planet, right?
Yeah, ran into one of the for not too long ago. Yeah,
Mm,
don't want to have. Yeah, I'm just fucking. They're annoying.
I understand that. On the same note, you might be able to get a ship from one of them. It depends on how much they owe you from last time. You and I have never really had to talk about that. Um, Other than that, I might be able to swing you a ship, but that's something that getting you a ship means that we can't upgrade before we go do this. And I think upgrading the stellar flare at this point for a time jumping mission through dimensions and space is probably a good idea.
He's like,
And, well, hmm, I have to talk to Besa about that. Otherwise, what if we subcontract you to be transport and give you the Spitfire? I don't think Vesa would go for that. But we'll talk about that later. But what I want you to know is there's always a place on any of my ships that apparently aren't bases for you. You have
Here's the
proved
thing, I don't
yourself,
mind that she's there. Okay, go ahead.
and I know, but
Okay,
I'm trying to have this conversation with an angry nerd.
I know.
Otherwise, I know that, like, meta, I know that you fucking did what you did, and I've read reports, character about what you did and why you did it, and I know all that. But Nerks gets a little bit of fucking extra, like,
Attention. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
"Huh,
okay. But you've been a worthy companion, and you are family here, regardless of how you feel about your actual genetic family. And I want you to know that.
I think she stops. She's like, she goes, "Look," she goes, "I mostly like most of the people around here for the most part." She says, "And I'll be back when you need me. But I think right now I need to go to Broken Rock. I think I can get a ship and a crew there, you know,
Hmm.
well, a ship anyway. Maybe I don't need a crew. I can fly a light freighter by myself. Shit, I
You,
can fly a heavy freighter by myself.
that's
She's,
true also, but that still doesn't mean that you don't need, at the very least, an engineer. And I know you have it, the ability to do it, but if you're in mid battle, you need someone to shoot the plane and fix your plane.
she's like,
Even you can only do so much, dear.
she goes, you'd be amazed what I can do.
No, I wouldn't. You're my
Like,
friend.
she's like,
I'm always amazed by you, but not in those things. All right, now, um, what's our agent's name again? Because I'm drunk with Nerks and I can't remember.
Berkshire.
Is that the one that you like were like, hey, do stuff for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So go to Brookshire. Brookshire, tell him that you need to get to Broken Rock. Ooh, that's gonna make it harder, isn't it? Hmm. Well, at least if we can get you to core space, you can hitch a ride from there. We know enough people.
she's like,
How would that sound?
she's like,
Because
I,
technically, if we, well, no, does he have enough connections to like get a ship to Broken Rock without having it claimed? I
what,
mean,
uh,
does the
Berkshire?
Paperleaf Trading, yeah, does the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company have parlay with Broken Rock?
Potentially, but I think Nurx looks at you. She's like, Zah, don't worry about me. I can get myself to Broken Rock. And she's like, and
Right, but I
she
was
went
trying to
at,
get it done like tomorrow.
she's like, she's like, she's like, you gotta know. She kind of looks at you and gives you like that little look of like a, it's that like we've been friends for a long time and I understand, you got a lot of shit on your plate kind of look. She's like,
Oh yeah.
you have way more concerns than me to deal with right now. I'll be fine.
Okay, but before you go, let's take this bad boy for a ride.
She's like, yeah, yeah, that sounds good. Just,
Okay.
uh, I guess I guess when Ashira asks, just tell her I'll be back before it's time for everything to go to shit. Apparently, and she's
Right.
like, and then she's like, other,
You should leave her a note. Don't trap her John that shit.
and she's like, whoa, and she's like, so let me show you the. She kind of like starts like breaking into like some of the specs of what she's doing. She knows you've like learned engineering over the course, um,
Yes.
like it's the whole thing is she starts
It's
going over like
badass.
the specs and like what what she did and how she built it and this kind of stuff. Like kind of deflects the conversation to sort of shared interests
Okay.
at this point.
We go chase Kraken apes without you. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Um.
Yep. Bernward, seeing that the garage is empty, probably goes into the garage, breathes out a deep sigh of relief because, yeah, the captain finally slipped the loop, and that means Bernward can have a fucking moment to himself and just drinks while
Mm.
sitting in like the sitting in the passenger seat of probably. I'm assuming the buggy is in here.
Uh. Yeah,
I thought the
possibly.
buggy was on the Stellar Flare.
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
so
okay.
too.
Just some.
It could be
We're on.
offloaded. I
The
mean, it's,
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah,
mountain
there could
base,
be
right?
something.
if you needed
They
to.
will
Yeah.
have like unloaded stuff too. I mean, we're not
It's
gonna
like,
leave everything set at flare.
I mean, you could.
Nah. Bernward's just insert random nondescript vehicle. He
Right.
pulls out a beer and like for the first time you guys see him like actually strike up a cigarette. And he
Ooh.
just like takes a deep fucking pull and is just like, okay. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like
And that,
finally I don't have to watch the man child and worry about him. He's out. I'll scold him when he gets back. Whatever. Like
That's funny. Can Vesa send you a message and be like, "Thanks for the beer. We should do that again sometime."
he would just send you back a message. Okay. Like
Yeah,
this is real
like
brief.
okay. Period. Like he's not.
yeah, that's fine. Any acknowledgement whatsoever is like,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
believe it or not, that's an incredibly warm acknowledgement from Bernward. He doesn't
I
really, yeah,
I get it. Honestly, I
he's
totally get it.
he's pretty boomer, honestly. You know,
Bernward has lots of abs too, by the way.
he does, but I mean, Bernward. If you ask Bernward what his sexuality is, he would essentially just say vengeance. You know.
That's fair. I think Vase's new sexuality might also be vengeance. We've got something in common. Oh shit.
Wow.
We're gonna do it. I'm
Haha.
just kidding.
God
All
Our
damn
right.
it.
parts make sense.
God damn it.
There's
No, this is a horrible way to go into Act Two. Stop it.
Yeah, very bad idea. Bernward would probably
This
shoot
is
it
not a
down
Jean Claude Van
immediately.
Damme thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think Vase is
the
in the right headspace for any of that.
Yeah. And Bernward just isn't that. He
Mm.
side note, he there's some stuff that just in battle, the Hell Knights don't want you to get particular urges, and you can
Hmm.
draw some lines from there as to some of the measures they'll take because
Oh
they're
yeah.
terrible, awful, horrible people.
Yeah.
And he's
Saltpeter in the food.
yeah, he's a commanding officer in the Hell Knights. If you think they're not
Hmm.
going to augment and change him down to his core structure, no, they are.
Also,
Like,
at some point, Ryan, you will get a whole video list of some guy named Melps and the process that he's using for whatever contraption that he's made through the months of being away and jumping through time and space. It's a whole lot to go through, but
and it's
that
still
way we
most
have
and it's
and
still
most of
most of
it will
it
be
is
like,
still
huh.
above. Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
some of it that's just like
But we're
beyond
trying. This is still what we
comprehension.
do.
Yeah. Um.
Like
Yeah.
Zai does that night at some point after he gets back drunk as hell with Nurks, watches a bunch of videos before he sleeps for 4 hours and wakes back up.
Gives himself a headache. Like, wait a minute, that makes no
And
sense. How does that even? No, I don't get the theory behind that. Like,
I,
there's
I need to sleep. I'm too drunk to get this right now. I'll try
yeah.
again
yeah,
in the morning.
Bernward when you come back just gives you the look, you know, the
I'm drunk
one of
enough
do I
that I flip
really
you
need to?
off with 3 fingers and
Before that,
then start watching videos.
God
before
damn
any
it.
of that happens, though, after like like you're just have start smoking your cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe like there's not a lot of people down here. Like there's the occasional guard that travels through here on patrol or whatever. Um, but you hear like you don't like you're kind of like thinking, amusing to yourself or whatever, and
Yeah.
you don't know how they got this close to you, but Dunkel Berkshire kind of walks up. You don't notice him until like he's maybe a couple of feet in front of you, and you're like, "Wait a minute, how did I not notice him until now?"
Oh,
How
he
And
did
you,
looks over
Frogman know
and
this?
he's not startled in that traditional, "Ah!" but he like catches himself and then flicks the cigarette onto the ground and stomps it out and like
yeah,
kicks it under the vehicle that he's like currently in.
like you basically heard like the a
Mm,
rustling of his clothing, and you get the impression that he wanted you to hear it as close as he got. It was it's one of those where he was being polite enough to be like, "Yeah, I realize you haven't noticed me. I'm not gonna get any closer until I know you have."
Yeah, and he looks at Berkshire
Wait.
after hastily ridding the cigarette and goes, "Berkshire,
So I've done a bit of back checking on per your request,
right?
and I actually got a little help from. It says we got a little bit of help from a few individuals within the Hell Knights. Some plants that we had, few folks that were friendly to us.
Hmm.
Just going through some files. Lloyd. There is no last name, but Lloyd.
Hmm.
It appears that someone matching your description is someone matching your description and appears to be connected the dots. All evidence points to Lloyd, an orphan with parents of unknown origin, brought into the Hell Knights at a very early age.
Kind of pauses for a second and mulls it over.
Says,
Oh, go ahead.
says there's not a great deal of evidence left. They didn't keep, as much as they love to keep records, there are some that they are less concerned with the condition thereof. He says, there's a bit of, he says, this right, he says, he hands you like a little chip. He goes, this right here, he says, there's a great deal of effort to get into, to get. He goes, it's not much, but maybe you'll be interested in seeing it at least. Give you some idea.
Kind of pauses and looks over the chip, scratches Violence behind the ears. He's been growling this whole fucking time as soon as this dude became a parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bernward slots the chip in his helmet and just leaves it there. He's not like actively looking it over right now or anything.
Right.
He's gonna look at him, go, know why I had you do this?
Likely because the Hell Knights are not exactly forthcoming with this sort of information.
No. Because I'm not a Hell Knight anymore. Haven't really been for the better part of 2 years. Wouldn't have even said I've been one for the last decade if I was being honest with myself. But, that identity subsumes a man. I'm not one for being subsumed. And he, takes a cred stick of 10,000 credits and hands it to Dunkel Berkshire and goes, it's a pittance. It's more whenever I get paid more.
He nods and he says, for what it's worth, there's more than just, there's more folks like you that get pulled into service for various organizations in such a manner. Some are more pleasant than others, but you're not the only person. You're not the only person out there to face these sort of questions and this sort of a past.
Kind of goes, strangest thing about it, I don't really regret the fact that I got brought in. Kind of takes a brief look at the chip and goes like, as far as it looks on here, my prospects were to die hungry or join the Hell Knights, so I figure might as well have lived as opposed to die.
Well, I suppose there's something to be said for having a bit of a purpose, and for a purpose being something that can save a man.
And he says, well, the good thing about me before this war is that I've already known my purpose this whole time. Flying around, all sorts of whatever, dealing with all sorts of indiscriminate, and then he puts in big sardonic air quotes, bad guys. It's really easy. They point me somewhere, they tell me that bastard needs killing, and I'm gonna kill him. So thankfully, I think I can die easy now.
I think he smiles and kind of turns and looks at you. And he says, "I think you and I, as unlikely as it may be, as it may seem, have a bit more in common than would meet the eye." And he kind of offers you a hand.
Oh yeah, he shakes his he shakes his hand, and as Dunkel shakes his hand, he hears the psh of his leg thing coming open, and he grabs a black stock with his other hand and offers it to Dunkel and goes, "You know, I got about a half hour to 45 minutes until Zai comes back on the radar, and I gotta chase his ass down. Want to take a smoke?"
Yeah, I think he nods and he goes, I think I'd like that. And he
Eh,
kind and yeah, and he'll sit and have a beer with you and smoke. And
yeah.
if you want to like make small talk, he will. But if you want to sit there quietly and drink, he'll do that too.
It's probably one of those like quietly drink, but like as he offers a cigarette, he's like, well, you caught me red-handed. Kind of hands him a cigarette and goes, "Cat's out of the bag with you. At least I can trust it's probably secret, unless someone's willing to pay too stupid of an amount for the information that I didn't actually quit." You know what I mean?
He's he shrugs and he's like, I'm not certain that anybody be digging up information on you would be concerned about your smoking status, but he says
Yeah, he kind of nods and
at that.
yeah, he kind of nods. And actually, for like the first time in a long time, Burnward like cracks just a slight smile and actually has like it's out of practice and gruff, and it you barely would recognize it if it wasn't for his normal demeanor being so drastically different right now. But there's something of a chuckle. You know what I mean?
Right,
As he lights Dunkel's and then his cigarette, common smoker courtesy shit. And
right.
I think that that's a fine point to leave off. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Um,
Ooh.
Lee, what are you doing in preparation for this mission jumping through dimensions yet again?
Meditations and lots of katas. Must be ready when we come out at the other side and something's shooting at us.
Oh, that's gonna be super cool. I'll have someone with 4 arms to do kata with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think maybe like as far as it goes with you, like there's probably like Scramjet probably makes it a point to before you leave to go do your meditations and katas to commend you. It's like it like hey, I didn't get a chance to say it the other day, but I don't think we would have. This is I think there's only a few pilots that could have come through that dimensional breach and not destroyed the entire space station. Me, obviously, Nurks. I don't know much about the pilots for the other ships here, but maybe Evel Adrel from Captain Zeridan's ship. But that was a pretty solid piece of piloting.
Thank you. Thank you. Ducey says it's luck, but I try to make sure I'm on top of my game.
Eh, he's like,
But Ducey says everything's luck.
you'd have him believe that he'd have you could ever beat him in a game of cards is by cheating. Which it's long rumored that the poker games with Ducey and or poker games that the black holes and cannons games with Ducey and Scramjet are noted for getting way too rich for anybody else's blood. The theory is that everybody knows Ducey's a professional gambler and he's got the Warlin EC luck. But people basically, the rumor is that Scramjet uses sleight of hand to cheat. Um, and nobody can prove it. Nobody's ever been able to prove it. But the, the, they're the two like top players at the table whenever there's a cannons and black holes game going on. Um, but other than that, Scramjet, generally kind of has the sort of like he's tried to he's you can tell that he's the kind of guy he tries to distinguish himself. Um, and what have you. But he's been put into this second in command position, so he's been trying really hard to be a good leader. Um, and with the exception of he seems rather uncomfortable around the SRO and Android members of the crew. He generally does a good job, and he usually kind of tries to stifle it whenever he does have to deal with the SROs or androids. So there's basically he makes it a point to make the rounds and be like, hey, good job. Da, 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 da. Um, and he's like, I figure somebody probably ought to say it. I think Vase is a little stressed, and Nurx is never gonna say it. Eh, she doesn't hand out compliments. And it was like,
Especially not about pilots.
yeah, she's got some pretty high standards and what have you.
Yes, large chips on her shoulder.
It's like, he's like, anyway, he goes, glad you're gonna be on the mission on this next mission. Because we need somebody with we need somebody with bold enough thinking to jump forward when a time is necessary for it.
Yeah,
He
it's
goes,
something I learned a long time ago. Always strike first.
he's like, well,
Uh,
he's like, he's like, he's like, well, it's a good philosophy. He goes, well, I gotta make the rounds. I'm due on deck for a night watch here in a little bit, and taking a half shift tonight. He goes, everybody else is gonna be out. There's if you need anything, he says, I'll see you when it's time to get prepared to go. Yeah, see you at your station.
Can
And
do.
he kind of takes off. And he kind of stops on his way, to the bridge. You see him stop and talk to one of the other, crew members. Uh, Not anybody that's necessarily named, probably just one of the lower ranking, guys that works in science or engineering or something. It's like, but he kind of is like does his thing. Uh, you you do see Oshni kind of coming to like the combat training facility, which is where I'm assuming you're having your kata at.
Yeah.
And um, you've kind of figured out that Oshni, like obviously the Unannihilated, is a vanguard as well. You figured out that so is Oshni, and he seems to have a couple of grenades floating around inside of him. It is kind of because Oshni is
He's
uh,
the
yeah,
pile of goo, right?
yeah, he's the ooze. He's the living
and,
ooze
and,
creature.
and technically, they're painted white and have black dots on them, but they are grenades.
Yep.
Googly eye grenades. Gotcha.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's the
But they
whole
don't.
point, and
But they
it's
don't.
beautiful.
But they don't
right.
float at the same level like eyes. They don't even float at the part of the body that's topmost where eyes would be. Like they
Mm.
float lower down and they
Yeah, they
float
just
on
kind of
different
wander
levels. They
around.
don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't float in a way that makes them look like eyeballs or anything. They're just kind of there.
But
Um,
the most beautiful thing about those eyes is they're wonder grenades. Uh,
Those crazy
I just
things.
got a quick one.
right. So far, all they do is grow extra arms, really. So,
yeah. But Ashni probably, like, that they don't have a gender as an ooze type person. Was the name of the race is Selamid. Uh, and from what you gather, they're generally kind of new to like space exploration. Um, and but Ashni probably is like, just kind of like, Oh, so you're in here doing you practicing. It's like it's like what do you feel like a sparring session maybe? Like I could use a little exercise. You know, don't want to get the you know, don't want to get feeling too solid, stiff. What's that?
I get it, but sure. You'd have to lose the eyeballs, though, just in
Oh,
case.
oh yeah, yeah, sure, sure, man. Like, whoa, and he's just
Plink,
like,
plink.
yeah, he just kind of like drops them, like maybe like just reaches out a pseudopod to like slap them over to the like off to the side and
I love
squares
the
them.
idea that he just drops them with no concern, just like boonk, boonk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they were floating close to his the bottom of his mass, anyways, or their mass, I should say.
Right.
Um,
Do we ever
yeah,
figure out? It's not important right now. Continue.
yeah, but yeah, they square up for a sparring match. Um, and we don't necessarily have to roll it out. We can if you really want to.
No,
I was
no,
gonna
we don't
say
have to.
Yeah,
at least roll first punch. I mean, that's good.
yeah,
What do you
yeah,
mean, just initiative?
yeah. We can do
Ooh.
that. See who actually gets the first gets to throw off the first.
All right, Mr. Strike first. Let's see it.
Ah, look at that. You rolled Captain Zeiss initiative. Try again.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I could have done
Oh,
Oshni.
yeah. Dang, yeah, Mr. Strike first got struck first.
Yeah,
Hey, happens.
Oshni, you know what? It's probably one of those things where like Oshni as an ooze creature is relatively unfamiliar. You haven't met a ton of oozes nor ooze
Mm,
type creatures. You haven't met any Selamids or oozes or
right.
fought a lot of
Yeah.
ooze creatures before now. So he
He didn't
moves
have a
weird.
tell when he
Yeah,
moved.
Yeah,
yeah. You'd have no idea where the attack would be coming from.
he moves weird. There's no facial expression to read. You know
No
exactly.
defined shape to tell where he's going to be hitting with.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think yeah, I
Actually,
think he was the
aren't you
only
just in
one.
your gi, right?
What?
What
You're
is
just in yeah.
but what is your land speed, by the way, Lee?
Ooh, he is super fast.
Hold on, I always forget where that is.
Should be near the top.
Should be under your class details
Yeah,
chart. Yeah.
it's 30 with 30 climb. So if he goes up a wall, he goes up a wall.
So Ashni has a speed of 50.
50?
Yep.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm getting there right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he has a speed of 50, and he is much faster over land than you, but you can gain some advantage on climbing obstacles and stuff, climbing up some of the obstacles. Slow him down a little bit, give you a little bit of an advantage too. So yeah, you find out very quickly that well, he's not Nurk's fast. He is the only one that was close to keeping up with her. Fucking,
Nurx is
but
insane.
Yeah.
yeah, fucking. Let's see. By
Just imagine how
comparison,
badass Evil Nurx is because all the books are out now when he made her.
yeah, Nurx has a land speed of 65, a climb speed of 45, and a swim speed of 45.
Right. That took a couple feats, but
Well,
anyway,
I think some of it was operative abilities too.
right.
Yeah,
Good job. I'm glad you guys had fun.
yeah, but Yeah, I think you're maybe a little higher level than Ashni. He's a little faster than you, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, um, you know, it it's a battle between two vanguards, so it kind of goes about how like you expect.
Right? Two walls keep hitting each other.
hmm With
Yeah.
there's just a lot of entropic energy crackling around.
Yeah.
As you guys go toe to toe.
And the next fight will be better because you'll know what to expect from an ooze person.
Yeah.
But it ends in a superhero stalemate.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
and Dr. Byrne.
Dr. Byrne is gone. He had to go to
Okay,
work.
he's okay. Good. Okay, just want to make sure he wouldn't. Okay, good. Um, that's right. It is about that time, isn't it?
A little past, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. What about Xander? What does Xander do at the time?
How is Xander feeling after seeing one of himself get stolen through time? Also, how do they have a doorway and why can't we build one?
So he's more concerned on figuring out how to find the first one.
Mm.
So he's trying to do research and compile notes and be like, okay, so this is what we have to do, this, and this. I'm trying to understand it.
Mm.
Right on. So you're. Uh, have you gone back to? Have you gone back to Master Hezrul's computer interface at all?
Yeah, I'd probably take some from there and see if I can find information on there and make sure it's not going to blow up on me.
There is something of interest. Um, there is a list. There are lists of agents of the Araldus Guild, but there's also lists of agents of the Disciples of Dissolution. Um, there's a few names on there. One of the names you see on there, uh, one of the names on there, I don't know. Really, how familiar have you taken the time to check like your emails and stuff in your office, or and have you looked into any of the official your official state business stuff, or are you directly into just your research?
No, I would check emails every single day.
All right, yeah. Zai, how much have you shared about like the operations on planet in terms of like um in terms of like who's got who's what companies and bases are set up here, who the representatives are, like how far did you send that? Like do you send that to um like heads of
Mm.
state that would have known? Did you send that
I would
to
have sent it to council members.
all right.
Glycil would have at least got it, 2 hours before everybody else. Or not Glycil. God bless. Um, Starts with a G. He's our friend. He's a Vesk. He used to be. He's your friend, Slef.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that starts with an E, Elgas.
Yeah, Elgas.
Elgas. See, that's why I was confused. Yeah,
Eh,
Elgas definitely gets it before everybody else because, he's my extra special guy. Oh, and so does Chorus, I guess.
Right?
And I guess I should also take that courtesy with what's his name?
PV?
Yeah, PV needs to be included like I care. Oh, the things we do for diplomacy. In fact,
now
as I'm
this
thinking
Zai
about sending them
news
out, I do PV first. I'm like, hey, here's a heads up on some stuff.
the Zai newsletter.
Mm.
Do you send the Zai newsletter to just crew as well?
not necessarily everybody. All the captains, of course.
Does it come
Oliver.
out weekly? Like, I have
No, like
questions
all of a
on
sudden you get like a 20-minute like rant from me over everything that's going on.
this. Rant. The weekly rant.
Yeah, the weekly rant. There we go. Zeiss weekly rant.
Yep.
ZWR. The ZWR comes out today.
And everybody just scans to make sure it's not about them.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, pretty
you
much.
you
Burnward
Yeah.
reads it, but only because he needs to know the details. Otherwise, he just takes out all of the editorializing.
Yeah.
right. Well, and honestly, the captains would have a little bit more information than like the regular, and that's not saying I'm not giving you everything, so it's okay. But yeah, and then did I
What's up?
Oh no. Did we lose him?
Kinda.
Sounded like it.
Mm-hmm. And he's gone.
Yep, there he goes.
I hear
Oh,
people?
he's back. Yeah, I can hear you.
Where?
Okay, I just every once in a while the phone will go nope, and I can't hear nobody, so I have to hang up and try again. All right, what was the last thing anyone heard?
Um,
The
Yeah, see.
bi-weekly
you
letter.
Oh yeah, the CWA. And then I asked if it was the next day. That was what it was.
okay.
Because if it's the next day, that means I can get with Vesa and we can do prep work for going to
Oh,
see what's his name.
he was doing stuff with Xander.
Oh, Xander.
Yeah,
That's
I was
right.
just gonna.
We're talking with Xander.
I was trying to figure out what
I'm sorry,
information
Xander.
you'd sent out to who.
Xander would definitely have everything that he needs. I mean, Xander is my head of information and my number one sciencey guy, scholarly guy.
All right. So
I mean, I could even help him if he needed me. I'm good at scholar stuff too.
so Xander, you come across a name that immediately raises a red flag with you because since you just got this, this whole thing from Zai talking about like the issues with like the Dr. Talet's base on the other side and whatnot. The name, where is it? Where did I put that? The name Dr. Damn it. It's the problem with flipping between multiple pages. The name of Dr. Artelis Lingrove is listed as an agent of the Disciples of Dissolution.
Oh, well, isn't that special?
I'd make note of that. Like, that's a familiar name.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Just make
Yep.
note of that. Okay.
actually, I'll send it. Do we have? I text you that. Hey, do you know this Doctor Artemis Hudamwhat is a disciple of Disillusion? And that would just be the text message.
Right. You don't even question mark it. You just like, no, I did not know that. Send. Okay.
Yeah, I found it in the database on this computer thingy. It's gonna be cool.
Remind me who the disciples of Disillusion are, Xander.
There's the other people trying to get the key thing or the
Oh, they're trying to get the sifter.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's called the key now. My bad. Hmm. Do we have? I wish Oliver was here because like we don't have sodium pentothal. Hmm. Hey, Burnward.
Burnward answers his phone. He like looks over at Burkle and is just like, shit.
No, it's the next day.
Work. Oh, it's okay. Because yeah, Next day, yeah, Bernward would pick up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he gave you the look.
Yeah, and all that happened.
Yeah.
I've got to sleep since then.
Yeah, Bernward, like, he doesn't sleep in your chamber, but he probably sleeps in an adjacent chamber, you know.
Occasionally, Tixpit has like conversations with you where he explains that he can do the night shift at the very least.
Oh, and yeah, no, Bernward will not have it. Bernward has sworn his fealty to Zai, and this was kind of intentional. I
I
kind
know.
of made Bernward to also go, haha, also he's just gonna take Tixpit's job without asking.
Mm. Well, and you just Tixpit now has backup that thinks he's in charge, but Tixpit
Yeah.
never would tell you that. So,
Yeah.
and he finds it okay. He gets to read more that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And technically, Tixpit is a they also.
Yeah.
Yes, they.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would they'd have a good time reading, would they? Is that what Tixpit does?
Tixpit is very smart. He gets all
Oh
the
yeah,
information too.
he's just lacking in social graces.
Right, he's the awkward dude at the comic
Yeah,
book shop.
that makes
The
sense.
one that creeps everybody out just a little bit.
Yeah, it makes sense. We all have known that guy. But no,
Ooh, Tixpit is Cecil.
Oh God.
Okay. For the three of us that got that reference, that's hilarious.
That was
All right.
really fucking funny, honestly.
It was terrible.
Oh man. But yeah, anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, fucking yeah, no, Bernward would kind of nod. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and disappear on you today.
All right.
But occasionally, I don't need a babysitter.
Kind of goes, Captain. If you're gonna track your crew with fairies, you might as well have me over your shoulder. What's the difference, right?
If that is, you say that, I go, then it's time for me to change your glamour pack so we can have you look like a. Suddenly you have wings on your back.
Yeah, Bernward would just be like, I'm not wearing a glamour pack.
I know.
Just
you're
very like he doesn't humor the joke. Bernward is not an
not.
amenable guy. If you make a joke that he doesn't like, he'll fucking tell you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funny. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
no, Bernward is just kind of like he's very Nahir, honestly. Now that I'm thinking about it, unintentionally, he's much looser than Nahir when it comes to like tradition, but he's just as rigid, you know.
I'll give you that, but your code of ethics is definitely different than Nahir.
Oh, way worse. Yeah, no, Bernward will kill a motherfucker for anything if someone tells him to. Literally, you could look at someone and go, "Hey, Bernward, I think that guy's hair is stupid. I want you to kill him," and he'd go, "All right, bad idea, but all right." Like,
right. I'm aware of the power of steel.
yeah, no, Bernward, you would know. Like, you've probably had like probably just one is all it would take, but just a misunderstanding where Bernward probably reached a little bit farther than you wanted him to because you just weren't clear with, you know what I mean?
I do think we've had that, and that was at that point where I was like, no civilian casualties if possible.
Kind of nods and yeah, exactly. Yeah, but anyway.
We only kill bad guys. Though I guess I do decide who's the bad guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, remember the big air quote bad guys I gave to Dunkel earlier? That was intentional.
I know.
Um,
Zai technically knows that he's a bad guy, but he doesn't want to be that bad guy.
I don't think that there's any good guys or bad guys in this universe. I think that everyone's shades of gray, and I think that Zai has made up for a lot of the shit he's done by being like he is at the end of the day trying to run a planet that like the people don't have a terrible standard of living and aren't just workhorses, which is like step one to not being a bad guy. Like, you know.
But the next planet will only put good guys on.
See,
we'll talk
there's
about
no
that
good
later.
guys either, Zai. You've done some pretty heinous things. Like,
I don't know. I think Glycil is technically a good guy. The only bad things he ever did were because we were in prison, and that was the only way he could survive.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between a good guy and a
Well,
good guy. You know what I
I guess
mean?
he hated your radish dude. I
Yeah,
mean, he would have
yeah,
killed him. So I
yeah.
guess. All right.
No,
Anyway,
there's yeah. Anyway, yeah.
sorry. We can talk about ethics later, Burnwood. But this was an excellent conversation. Now
Yeah, Burnward in
let's
conversation,
see.
just like I think that Zaya. Yeah.
Yeah. But
But yeah, no, fucking, and Burnward will stick to you with whatever you need to
mm.
do. Obviously.
Xander, I would like to talk to you for just a minute so we can like get some of it out like together. And while that's happening, Vesa, I send you a text message just like, hey, whenever you're ready, I'm in the mountain complex. Come see
Yeah,
your office.
what time is it?
At this time, I'd say what about 10 o'clock Galactic Standard.
In the morning?
All right, is that okay, Jesta? Can it be 10 o'clock?
Well, or the equivalent thereof.
Well, that's
Okay.
why I said Galactic Standard. Um,
Okay.
so yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
definitely
said
not super early.
they said give you a 10-4 and
Mm.
head that way. I think I'll ride the pig,
Oh yeah.
give him some exercise.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm riding the pig because if I just tell him where to go,
Yeah.
maybe he'll get me there and I can have like a short nap while we're going.
Um, say we can
Like,
have Glycil on standby with a shot similar to what Dr. Bear gives you to get rid of hangovers, but not quite because Dr. Bears are
she,
better.
yeah, that's fine. I'll show up. The pig's with me. And I'm like,
Right.
I could. I did.
Yeah, but if Mike didn't go do it, is he here?
Yeah, I did it. I dragged him back in.
Well, I assume
What did
Michael
he
is
get?
in Gunner's room right now.
Did he just get switched to a different
Yeah.
voice
He
channel
just
or
got
something?
switched
Is
to
there
the AFK channel. Yeah,
Oh,
he's back. I dragged him back in.
okay.
Yeah. So, uh, I'm like, sup. Like, slide off this pig. Okay.
Right. I take a moment to be like, pork chop, look at you, you're so big now.
Happy as a clam to see you. Like prancing around, doing the tippy taps, but he's 1,000 goddamn pounds. So
By
it's
the
Right.
way,
terrifying.
Violence is growling at Pork Chop again. This is just a recurring theme.
And
That's
that's
fine.
fine
Pork
because
chop
you
gets
just
very
upgraded
peaceful.
violence, right? Violence is like super buff now.
Oh yeah, Violence is the highest level I can make him.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm about to do that myself with pork chop, but I don't want
Mm.
them to ever fight, not for real.
No, not for
Oh
real.
yeah, no,
It's just
Violence
fun,
won't go unless I tell him to go, and I'm not gonna tell
Right.
him to fight Pork Chop.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm
And
also not gonna not tell him to fight Pork Chop. Like I'm
Right,
not gonna
right.
say like, cut that shit out. Violence is his own goddamn man. I've just
Of
trained
course.
him
uh,
into a killing machine.
while all
Exactly.
that's going on, I've got pork chop on his belly, and I'm rubbing his belly with all four arms.
Yeah,
Who's
and
a
you're
good
like you
boy?
have to climb on top of him to do so. He's just so goddamn big.
Right.
Like it's real
All right.
bad.
And I'm like, all right. So hey, here's all the new stuff. And Xander has a bunch of crazy new shit for us too. Um, and then tonight we're gonna go see that guy. And apparently Xander just told me a few minutes ago that that guy's part of the people that are trying to get the sifter before we do. So I don't know. The evil guy inside of me says that we capture him, drug him, and get the truth out of him at any cost, which Burnward would love to do. But the
Nods.
good guy
If
inside of me,
we do that, then maybe we can get ahead of them, see what they know, and get
well,
ahead of them to get this thing to align
the
the world
good guy
correctly.
inside of me, Xander, wants to try to do it through diplomacy and manipulation, especially since Besa will be here
Um,
to do the start of it because she's badass at diplomacy.
question: why
Yes.
not both?
Yeah, Burnward looks and goes,
Like try one and then
typically,
do the other if it doesn't work.
yeah,
Or just
Burnward's like,
Mm,
typically they use me as a last resort. I understand that my
methods.
words aren't exactly the ones that get minced with others. Kinda like leans back.
Right. I've recently watched your ferry while you were on the diplomatic mission that I sent you on. I think I would have been better to send just Ryan alone.
Yeah, you also probably saw my ferry of negotiating big air quotes with fucking what's his face basically saying, "Hey, I could just throw you in a dungeon forever and Zai wouldn't say shit. I am Zai's will and I'll fucking use it." Like you probably saw that whole goddamn thing.
I did.
How do you feel about that?
As far as that went, it wasn't worth bringing up because I was like, oh, well, he still ended up doing the right thing somehow, so whatever.
Yeah, no, yeah, just
I'm
Burnward
like,
is not afraid to
he
use
didn't
his
just outright
station.
do it, right? And you don't have that station anymore. Now you're just, my badass bodyguard.
Yeah, so now the argument is, yeah, I don't run anything in the government, so I'm not really tied to the government right now, but I still have all the contacts. That's the new thing he's gonna do.
Mhm.
yeah, that's fair.
And
So
yeah, that's fair.
Burnward's a very mean, nasty, angry man.
Honestly,
So,
Vasa's feeling that energy and very approving of that energy because she's been through some fucking shit.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's just like we could do both, you know.
Jester,
Yeah.
Like
I think that we should wait to go see the doctor's guy, and I promise by next week I will learn his name. I'm sorry. Um, but I think we should wait till we have Oliver Byrne with us because Oliver has mad skills.
hmm
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, you're good. And
Yeah.
if you guys want to hold off and do that next week, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Uh, is there anything else like we need to do, guys?
Uh,
Or is there anything else that you have planned, Jester, that we need to do?
well, I had some, some of the things that I changed up here were going to be a little bit longer and involve people who aren't here today, but
All right.
the so that kind
Well,
of like abbreviates.
space diarrhea. It happened.
Does anybody else have any scenes they need to go through? Any PCs or NPCs they need to have a conversation with about anything?
I mean, we have the funny blooper reel of Burnward singing Kesha in the shower. No.
I want to see it.
Uh, that would be funny, I have to admit. But oh, um, Zai goes to your other guy, Pizza.
Oh yeah, to Wathaki.
Withaki.
Wathaki the
Wasaki.
Seekers.
See, I can remember Pizza. But yeah, I go to Wasaki's remedial class so that I can get my lessons in for speaking the new language.
And you get speaking the new language, but sadly we do not have the budget to put so many Caprans in one room. They're all very expensive CG. Just trust that the scene is very funny. And
Yeah.
we put it in
Yeah.
the trailer, but only 5 seconds, and that's all the 5 seconds you get in the film. Sorry, guys.
Right. There's like everyone's raising their hand, in a classroom type setting. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's really fun for the whole family. Good for all
Mm.
ages. Very heartfelt too.
Okay. But yeah, it was a great class.
Yeah, it
I
was
recommend
good.
that everyone get the class.
I'm sorry, this joke just cracks me up way more than I think it does anyone else.
Uh,
That's why I'm gonna keep making it.
uh, hey, it's great that Zai found someone to teach him more languages. He's
Oh yeah,
learned as
no,
many as he can.
Withaki speaks hella languages. He speaks more languages than Twinkle does. And Twinkle, I think, speaks the most languages out of all of us. Withaki
I
was
mean,
built. Oh,
I might have him beat. maybe.
I'm gonna say your envoys
Well,
all have the capacity to learn fuckloads of
Oh
languages.
yeah,
right. If
no,
they
I
take
took
that one
feats.
thing,
I took feats, and also
Yeah,
my type of mystic give me,
right.
or yeah, give
oh
me more
yeah,
because
he
my
gives you extra.
connection is to not hive mind. It's the other one, the one that makes you really good at talking to people. But basically, it's like a baby envoy mystic sort of
I love
subclass.
it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
good. It's good, and I invested a lot in speaking languages just so I could speak pretty much anything.
I
Wathaki's great.
speak. Zai speaks 24 languages, not including Common and Kasafin.
Oh,
I have
geez,
not
I only
listed
Yeah,
all
speak
of.
Z only speaks 16. Lee only speaks 16.
Mm.
I
Let's
think I
see
might have
here.
not picked up a couple of
Right.
languages when I should have.
Well, and
Wathaki
it's the
speak.
number of ranks you have in culture
Mm-hmm.
plus the bonus to intelligence.
Yeah, Lee has
Yeah.
culture out the ass because he traveled around
Hmm.
uh, and doing martial arts combats.
Well,
Oh,
and
I
that's
should
always
pick up
been one of
like
the reasons that Zai likes to have a variety crew, so he can talk to everyone and make
But
sure that he keeps up on his languages.
I
I
need
should pick up
to
3 more languages.
I need to list these out, but Wathaki has 28 languages
Nice.
because of his
Sweetie.
background and his because cultist gets a language too for some reason. Just one, but
Mm.
just one is still good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why cultist
Incredible.
So
gets a
I got
language, but I'm happy
26.
with it.
Uh,
26?
Yeah.
probably for the sheer fact of like blending in with with regular
Yeah,
society.
yeah, that's probably what it is. And it's like a list of like 5 different languages. Like it's like infernal, abyssal, like it's culty languages anyway, so
Right.
it makes
Exactly.
sense, but also just,
Right.
Yeah, Cthulhu Fatagan.
Exactly. Cthulhu Fatagan, Rela, yeah.
Mm.
Hell
What
yeah.
the fuck are you guys saying?
Shaka when the walls fell.
Uh, well, yeah. There we go.
Mm. Kalis with his arms wide open.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Uh,
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 and then, of course, Ba Weep, Grana Weep, Ninny Bone.
Narthal
Mini
Garthok.
bone?
all right. Well, I think since we're descending into memeing off of movie lines at this point, maybe we should start
Mm.
doing some players' choice votes and sign-offs.
Oh, very
That's a valid
well.
point.
It's a valid point. Who wants to start us off here?
I'm the Computer King, the supervillain of streaming, and I was Lee, little 3 foot tall, 4 armed person who just learned that fighting goo is not easy. I don't know where that lesson will ever come in handy, but he learned it today. Uh, on Thursdays, I'm in New Amsterdam. I haven't finished a character because my last character got his head blown off. Watch out,
Yeah,
folks!
that was awful.
Watch out, folks! When you're playing Cyberpunk, it's a deadly system.
Mm-hmm.
What piece of equipment are you going to be getting next time, Computer King?
A helmet.
Hey, there we go.
Please, please pick up a helmet. Even I was like, everyone was like, please pick up a helmet. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Yeah,
yeah,
uh-huh.
I just assumed he had a helmet. I'm sorry, I won't cut into
I
your
I
I
just
won't
assumed that the +8 to try and hit me in the head would make people miss.
He did roll a
That's a
10,
lot.
so
Yeah,
that's
he
impressive.
did roll max.
Yeah.
And eventually, from Hedge to Mensch will come back. And that's it for me.
Mm.
Awesome. Who's next up on the bat?
I can
Hi,
go.
tonight I played. Okay.
No. Tonight
It's
you
not going
played
to happen
Zai.
this time, I swear. Mm.
Oh, fuck. Hello, Mamie Geddon. I cut off Zai, who played. Yeah, good times. I'm in this, and I'm in Cyberpunk on Thursdays, which my character should not have been in that situation, and is going to have a conversation with her superior and be like, "Don't put me in that situation anymore," because that was fucking stupid. I didn't like it. It was awful. I will also be in Hench Dimension when it comes back. That's me. I'm sorry. Please, Zai, please go.
Hi, tonight I played Captain Zai, and I do so every Monday when I can. It's a lot of fun. We actually got a bunch of stuff accomplished, and it was tits fun. And because of that, I normally would say my friend Purple Codex, but she's not here tonight. She had other stuff to do, and that happened. But my friend Amy Gedden has an Etsy that she'll tell you about now.
It's Nerd Art by Amy, spelled AMIE.
Right? Check it out. It's got cool stuff. They both have T Publix. That's purple_codex for that one. And then Amy Gedden's is just like she said just a second ago. And then this week there's actually stuff on sale, so check that out. 35% off. 33% off. I'm sorry, they changed it. And with that, on to Xander. Because why not?
Okay. Scott, I played Xander, sort of. Hey, I
Uh,
learned new information. That was cool. What else am I in? Instrument comes back. Whatever. Um, I'm in that. And then Brain Fart, New Amsterdam. I play. Is he related to Spat? I don't know. Watch and find out.
I think we need to have that conversation. I think that'd be interesting. I think that's
Yeah.
we'll message about it.
Yeah, that could be fun. And then I'm also in the. Oh, come on, brain. Oh, Gloomfall. They're on Sunday. And I'm the most normal person in the whole group.
which makes him the most exotic person in the group.
Yeah, most of us are focused on murder, death, ambition, and then he's just like, I like making swords.
Hey, I'm simple. I got a lot of sword or weapons I carry around too, so whatever.
Valid.
And that's all I do right now. Because I'm simple.
Awesome. I do still need your player's choice of the vote, though. And who's up next?
Oh, I might as well go next. I'm Brian. I played Rhino Dragon, who didn't do much today. That's okay. But Java got to do a really interesting garbled message looking for help, which going to be interesting. We'll see how that goes. On Thursdays, you can find me in New Amsterdam playing Sayu. Uh, besides Dieter losing a head, she's the other reason that things got really crazy because she sort of punched up 8, 9 people's caved their faces in, and yeah, she pretty well eviscerated half of the group we encountered.
Yeah,
A little more than
thereabouts.
that.
I think there was 16 of them, and you killed. Yeah, you killed 9 of them, so you killed more than half of them.
Yeah. So yeah, that can be disconcerting on many levels. But on Sundays, I'm the one that's running Gloomfall, and yeah, this lovely band of interesting characters. I'm just going to leave it at that. This is going to be really fun because I have no clue where you guys are going, but this should be interesting.
Oh, we're gonna make it interesting.
Oh, I know you're going to make it interesting. I'm just going to counter it. Anyway, that's it for me.
All right. And who do we have left?
That's me, I think.
All right.
Yeah. Hello there, everybody. This is Win 5 Get 1 Free, also known as Mike, also known as Mira. You have caught me today playing Burn Ward, who had plenty of small things come out about him, but nothing super important. To his, well, I mean, finding out his actual name and then finding out it's the name of one of the Dumb and Dumber characters. It's a journey that we're on. But okay, that wasn't Gunner. Good. But yeah, other than that, you can also catch me running Cyberpunk New Amsterdam, my custom cyberpunk world where people are so entrenched in so many things. I think that everyone's kind of just going from place to place, except Lucky, who's just saying go place to place, and no one's really asking any questions. which is awesome, actually. Big fan that no one's asking Lucky any questions about anything. That's gonna pan out for sure. You can also catch me
She's the
on a.
boss. Why would we ask her questions? She tells us what to do. We do it.
That's valid. You know what? I respect that. Spoken like a true ganger. But yeah, no. You can also catch me on Sundays in Gloomfall, where I am playing Madame Yinvrath. The just she sees talent, she develops talent, and she knows to never turn down some good information, even if it's from the head of the Mages Guild, who she's probably gonna have killed at some point. Because I mean, let's be real, if she's going to make it to the top, he's either going to need to be in her pocket or be dead. And I don't think he's going to be in her pocket anytime soon, nor dead, really. So, half problem, we'll find a solution. If you are currently watching us on Twitch, thank you so much. We love you. But also, you could be showing your ever loving, never ending loyalty by watching us on YouTube again and again and again and again and again at youtube.com/Paradise Theater. If you are currently watching us on YouTube, we love you. But what the heck are you doing, you silly goose? You could be watching us live on twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. Didn't have the one without underscores that time. That sucks. And if you are a fan of community interaction, and also the hot, fast, and sexy world of scheduling, and yeah, be a fan of what? Memes. Catch us at Pair Theater on Twitter, and that is me.
All right. Well, that brings it back to me. So let's get the bookkeeping out of the way. Everybody give yourself 5,000 experience points, and Zai with a very nearly unanimous, very close to unanimous, wins it tonight for an extra 900 XP. Oh,
Thanks, guys.
and all right. With that said, I am the Just King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for the Fire Shrike, my epic level of epicness that we have going on here. And yeah, it looks like we're about to go into a crazy universe, another crazy universe with crazy things going on. And there's some really fun big reveals that I just can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited about. And you can also catch me here on Sunday nights where I too am a part of Gloomfall. I play Golgog the Forge Spitter, a big Orog fighter who uh, right now he pretty much sticks close to Mattern Yingvreth as sort of like a de facto bodyguard. And, you know, Uh, he starts off pretty basic, but we'll learn more about his past and what makes him tick as we go along. Because for the moment, he's mostly mercenary. We'll develop him as he goes along. Otherwise, he's the obvious threat in the room, the big orc with the big axe. But that is all I am in for now, and I think that's all that we have for tonight. So let's get an RIP Fern and get out of here.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Fern.
I love Sam Sam.